Gentlemen, we'll call this meeting in order for our December 11th, 2025 regular board meeting. Welcome everybody here tonight and everybody that's in the virtual world also. Our first item on our agenda tonight is an invocation by Pastor Lee Farmer. You be so kind, sir.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to offer a prayer on your behalf. Eternal Creator, thank you for the blessings that we are able to live in such a wonderful community. And especially during this time of year when we hear words like peace, joy, love, kindness, mercy, may we be reminded that these are ways we need to live, not just at this time of the year, but all year. Tonight, Lord, I lift up our Board of Supervisors, and I pray as they make difficult decisions, that you will direct them and guide them, that they'll make the best decisions that are best for our community. And I pray these things in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. All right, pledge of allegiance, we'll all stand for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all. Next is approval of the agenda. We have any additions or deletions to it?
Mr. Chairman, under presentations, I'd like to move item G, Northumberland County Little League, and item H, the update from the Virginia Department of Transportation, and put it up right behind item A.
All right, that all right, rest of the board?
Yes, good.
All right, we can do that. Anything else?
We have good timing tonight for the closed session, or do we need to move that and put that toward last, Mr. Taylor?
I was going to suggest we move that to the last item on the agenda.
Good, right.
Okay, well, I'll add that in as well.
All right. Let's do that. Anything else, John? All right. I have a motion to approve the agenda has changed.
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the changes.
A second. Motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Now, gentlemen, approval of the minutes. We have three different sets of minutes. We have a November the 6th, 2025 special meeting. Any additions or changes to that?
Do we want to make a motion to approve each one separately?
Yeah, make one each separately.
Right.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, November the 13th, the regular board meeting. Any additions or changes to that? If not, I'll take a motion for that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. December the 3rd, special meeting. Any additions or changes? If not, I entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now we'll go on to our presentations.
I've got the first one.
All right.
Resolution honoring Richard F. Haney. Whereas Mr. Richard F. Haney served as the District 2 representative of the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors for 24 years, serving 16 years as vice chairman and 5 years as chairman. And whereas Mr. Haney demonstrated a deep concern for the welfare of the county citizens throughout his years of service in the most caring and professional manner. And whereas Mr. Haney was a faithful, hands-on board member who will be greatly missed for his dedication and willingness to serve his community. And whereas the same Mr. Haney was presented with some very complex and controversial issues that came before the Board of Supervisors for many years, but he always kept the interest of the county citizens first and foremost in his decision-making. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors, with the support of the citizens of Northumberland County, hereby expresses its deepest appreciation and gratitude to Richard F. Haney for all his contributions and dedication of service to the county and its citizens. And be it further resolved that the board hereby thanks Mr. Haney for all his hard work and dedication while on the board and wishes him much happiness and good health in the future.
All right, gentlemen. Up to y'all.
Motion to approve it first. Let's do that.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
You too, Mr.
Always that you made it. Thank y'all very much. All right. I'll say it's been a pleasure to serve on the board. I've had some very good members to work with over the years, and a lot of excellent staff to work with. And to get this, all the other agencies in the county have been excellent to work with. They've always been there and answered every question you ever answered. You ever asked. They were always available. It's been a pleasure. You know, you get on this board and it's easy to sit back in your pride and look back and say, well, I can make change here or change there, do all this. When you get on the board, you find it and it's not over and near as easy as what you think. A whole lot more to it. You don't serve on this board for personal gain. You do it for your own joy of helping the public. All it's for. And I have really enjoyed serving you on this board. It's been a pleasure to serve everybody. Even though sometimes people don't always agree with me, but that's all part of the job. It's been a real pleasure, and I thank everyone for the opportunity to have served. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Good.
All
right, our next item would be Northumberland Little League. Who's here from Northumberland Little League? Come on up, please.
Can we have them come up with the moose lodge, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Moose Lodge can come up also.
Just as a quick lead-in, I was made aware of an extremely generous donation that the Moose Lodge made that was going to benefit the youth of Northumberland County. And I thought that donation was Board of Supervisors meeting worthy. And I asked Mr. Chairman if we could get it on the agenda, and you graciously allow that. And Mr. Moss, are you representing the Moose Lodge tonight?
Yeah.
Well, the floor is yours.
I want to add something. I want to thank the Moose Lodge for donating a check to Galilee United Methodist Church of $1,500, I think. But thank y'all very much.
So I was asked just to say a few words about the Moose Lodge. I'm Kathy Elgin. I'm the current administrator at the Lodge. And a little bit about who we are. We've been a fraternal organization since 88. We have a child city in Chicago, Illinois, where we kind of support, it's not really an orphanage, it's actually a city where we have kids that we support. It's a 1,000-acre campus, 40 miles west of Chicago. And we also have a senior facility in Moose Haven, which is a 700-acre retirement community near Jacksonville, Florida. We have representation in 1,500 communities across 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces, including Great Britain. The Moose organization contributes between $75 to $100 million worth of community service, counting monetary donations, volunteer hours, and miles driven annually. Our goal this year as the Moose International is to reach 1 million members. In addition to the Moose Heart and Moose Haven, we have a Heart of the Community program that supports the local community. We're happy to say that in 2025, so far, we've donated over $215,000 towards this program, and over $157,000 went local. Those local efforts went towards first responders, fire rescue, Smith Point Sea Rescue, student scholastics, the church family program, Callio Hometown, student sports, and all kinds of things throughout the community. So I know that my colleagues at the Moose Lodge are very happy to be able to represent and give back to the community.
Hello, I'm Corey Rice, and this is Sam Lewis. We represent Northumberland County Little League. We're the president and vice president. Over the past 3 years, the Moose Lodge has helped us out a lot. In large part, we've been able to put a metal roof that's going to last 50 years or more on top of our concession building. We did some major field renovations last year in part of their donations. And in this year, for what they've done for us, we're able to offer free registration to every child in the county. So hopefully we're going to get that many more kids involved. Usually we have somewhere around 120 kids, and we open registration sometime in December and don't close it till the end of February. And it's usually a mad rush there at the end. This year with the free registration, we're already over 60 kids. So we look forward to having a big year this year, and we thank the Moose Lodge for all their support.
Happy to do it.
Thank you, guys. Do you get that information in the paper and on radio? Well, I'm sure some would love to.
We just opened registration on the 1st, and some of it's going out through social media, and we'll get more ramped up as we go through it. Yes, sir.
Is it possible for us to get a picture with all you all? Put in our advertisement stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
We'd like to do that.
Great. Yeah. Introduce them from North. If you want to get it.
You're gonna have to, ma'am. And yeah, that'd be good.
I'm behind. You're short enough. I couldn't.
Got it. Great. Who am I sending it to?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. 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 Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, next would be an update from Virginia Department of Transportation. Mr. Beal.
Hey, good evening. It's good to be with you all. Appreciate the adjustment to the agenda. This is the one night of the year where we do 2 board meetings the same night. So we're going to leave here and get down to Lancaster for their meeting. We had Richmond County this morning, so it's a trifecta. But I appreciate you helping us with our schedule. Standing beside me this evening is Hunter Goodman. He is the new assistant resident engineer. He's trying to fill the shoes of Carter White. Hunter is a proud JMU graduate, so he's looking for big things here in the playoffs.
So
He also graduated from VDOT's EDGE program, which is our engineer trainee program. He graduated there a couple years ago, and he's been in the Ashland residency, working with land use permits, and he comes to us here in the Northern Neck, and he does have family ties here in Northumberland. So he's looking forward to getting work underway. It's his second day. So we're introducing him to all the boards. Also, I don't think I told you last month, Brian Thomas is a new superintendent in Lotsburg. Brian was formerly the supervisor over in Hague, and he also lives in Northumberland County. So looking forward to what he's going to do down there. He's been there since the 25th of November. We've been busy over the last month. We're cutting brush on Mob Neck. We moved a tree down in Bogey Neck, and appreciate the county's help with coordination on that. We did a shoulder repair on Gilliam's, and we finished our snow prep, and we've had the opportunity to mobilize for snow 3 times now. And we'll do that again on Sunday. It'll be number 4, and it's not even winter yet. So good times. We removed beaver dams, patched potholes, graded gravel roads, and addressed work orders countywide. We have some ditches we're planning to clean on Lake Landing and on 360. We still have pipe replacement on Lake Landing and Flood Point. Shoulder repairs on Cone Stage Road. We have some brush down in Edwardsville we need to get. And we're working on removing some of those sign islands, those concrete islands that were put in the middle of the intersections years ago. If the sight distance is good approaching the intersection and we can move the signs to the right side of the road, that's what we're going to do. And we'll pull those concrete islands up so they aren't there for you to run over. And then we'll keep up with potholes and work orders throughout the county. And that is all I have for you all as far as updates. If you all have anything for me, I'm happy to take those.
Mr. Williams, you have anything?
No, sir.
Mr. Long?
yes, Mr. Lawrence Middleton, I call that in at Northumberland Highway 13474, I think. But I can make sure I got there right.
Is that the one you and I talked about earlier this week?
No, this is a different one. This is on Northumberland Highway.
What was the number you thought again?
I'm a call.
Okay.
I'm not sure that number, but it's on Northumberland Highway.
Okay.
And the ditches need to be straightened up because it's clogging the pipes. The water is standing. All right.
All right. Yeah. Give me a call.
I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Now the other one, then it changes on the bridge, Whitestone Bridge. You knew I was going with that.
No changes. I was thinking about what I would tell you about the bridge. There really hadn't been anything to talk about. We're trying to acquire the right of way down there at Willoughby's where the restaurant is, and that's what we're working on right now.
Do you have a meeting coming up anytime soon?
No, there are no meetings scheduled.
I was hoping so. Okay.
But as soon as I have more information to share, we'll schedule a meeting. I'm gonna get the man that's in charge of the bridge. We hired him specifically to deliver this project. I'm gonna get him down here and talk to you.
Me too. Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Bryan?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Fisher?
We talked a little bit a couple of months ago about the possibility of maybe putting some of that liquid chemicals on some of the secondary roads in the really bad spots. I hope you put that into your talking points and consider it. I know we got maybe snow coming Sunday and it's too early for that, but basically it's where your snow fences used to be years ago. But these places historically, even though you get the roads plowed out nice and clean, we have these bad places on the secondary roads, and it causes havoc, especially if it's a dry snow. And maybe you can talk about, I know you said it didn't cost an awful lot of money. It'd probably be just, manpower and that sort of thing, but I hope you will consider it. Let us know what your considerations come in.
I mean, if there's specific locations, we could look at those. The biggest challenge with Brian, we just got off the call at 4:00 with the weather service, And, there's still uncertainty in the storm, whether it's going to start as rain or snow. So I was going to make a decision to brine or not brine at 4:00. We pushed that to 8:00 tomorrow until we get our next call with them. So then it just becomes a timing. How much can we get done in the little time we got? But if there's specific locations, I don't know where the snow fences used to be, and I don't know that we have a record of it in the residency.
Some of your older people up at Lottsburg and even your younger people, they know where these bad spots are.
Okay.
They know where these bad spots are on these secondary roads. And really be a safety thing for the county. Appreciate your
So we'll look
consideration.
into that.
Thank you.
You don't have anything, Mr. Beal?
Well,
All right.
I have one other thing. And about, down to the school, we talked about doing something. So they have so much traffic coming out of there now. And like I told you, a deputy got hit, several months ago, watching during that time. And we're talking about some kind of lane. I would love to see a light there. But you say, we've been trying to get that light for years.
Yeah, I think the challenge for me is the funding that I have control over is for maintenance, and we maintain the system as it is today. If we want to make improvements, there needs to be a project and funding associated for that improvement. So I think the most appropriate program for anything you decide to do at the school would be revenue sharing, and that requires a 50% county match. So depending on what the project would be, we develop an estimate, and then the county would need to commit to 50% of the funding, and then we could move forward. We could move forward with an application for a project.
Well, whatever it takes, because safety is the main thing. People not getting hurt. So I'll talk to you more on that, or we can get something.
Okay.
All right. That's all I have.
All right.
All right. It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure working with you. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, we'll see you around.
Pleasure working with you too.
Call me anytime.
All right. Appreciate that.
How do we contact you? What's the number?
I'm going to I'll add his to the next report. It'll be at the
Okay.
bottom of the report on the next one.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Next is the Library of Virginia Outdoors Foundation easement request. Ms. Blue?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are
Good
you? I have with me Miss Esty Thomas. Esty is with the Virginia Outdoor Foundation. And I also have one of our board members. She's the head of facilities, Susan Ruberry. So if you have any questions, you can certainly let me know. What you have in front of you is a resolution to allow basically Mr. Tadlock and I to be able to work together to get this deed of easement taken care of. And I believe, Mr. Tadlock, are you going to read through the resolution, or would you like me to?
Either way, I can. I did not have it pulled up, but I can.
I've got it right here, so I'm happy to do it if you'd like me to. Actually, it's usually your job, so I'll let you.
Okay. All right. This is a resolution authorizing acceptance of a deed of open space easement from the Northumberland Public Library. Whereas the Virginia Outdoors Foundation has entered into a grant agreement with the Northumberland Public Library, or rather known as library, whereby Virginia Outdoor Foundation is providing open space lands Preservation Trust Fund grant funds to the library in the amount of $134,228.30 for the creation of a pocket park. And whereas Virginia Outdoor Foundation has requested that the Northumberland County be the holder of the deed of open space easement, which is a condition of the grant funding described above. And whereas the library is in agreement with granting such an easement to the county, and whereas the county is authorized to acquire and hold an open space easement pursuant to Virginia Code Section 10.1-1701, now therefore be it resolved by the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors this 11th day of December 2025 that the board hereby approves and authorizes acceptance of a deed of open space easement from the Northumberland Public Library authorizes the chairman or county administrator, either of whom may act to execute the deed in such form as may be approved by the county attorney, and to take any actions and execute any documents necessary and reasonable to effectuate this resolution.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Gregory, everything look good to you?
Certainly, Mr. Brand, the resolution looks great. The plat that looks good. There was some complications with the way the different lots of the property were arranged. They needed to do abandon some lot lines to merge some of the parcels together. Looks like they've done that. So that's great. Thank you very much. And we have a draft deed that I'm reviewing now, but that looks to be in good order at present. And once it's finalized, we will, with this resolution, and if the board approves it, Mr. Tadlock will have the authority to execute it and record it, and that will be it.
Mr. Chairman, unless some of the other board members have any questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All against? All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
Are there any openings on the library board?
Yes, always.
Always.
Yeah.
I just wanted the people, this large crowd to hear that someone might want to join. So
Yeah.
What's the number to contact you?
They can just come into the library and talk with me, and I will certainly get them the information that they need if they're interested.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is the Circuit Court Records Preservation Grant Request. Ms. Bingham? Bingham?
Good evening.
Good evening.
So every year we apply for a grant to the Library of Virginia and for the restoration of our records.
Okay, you want to bring that music down?
So I don't know what information you got on it.
I gave him a pack.
So that's okay. So the library comes and they go through our records and they recommend what books and so forth to be restored. And then, of course, I approve it. And the interested vendors get the information from the library. And then they provide us quotes. It's then submitted to the grant application is submitted to the Library of Virginia, and that deadline is January 30th. And they approve or deny the grant. They notify us, of course, in April. And then we notify the vendor and a court order is prepared. And then they take the records for, it varies, but sometimes it's like 6 or 7 months. But then upon the completion, the Library of Virginia verifies the records, we verify the records, and then an invoice is prepared. And it goes directly to the treasurer here, the money. Digital images are also given to us, which is a big help. But that's all the information I have at this point till I get the quotes.
All right, board members have any questions?
Ms. Bingham, does the grant have an amount to it now?
No.
It does not. So it depends on your quotes.
They wait until the quotes come in.
Okay.
And then they decide based on how many applications they get, who's going to get what.
Okay. And it's 100% funding. So it's no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions from the board? If not, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Excuse me. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Ms. Bingham? There you go, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. The next item is Department of Social Services. Jackie Clayton.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Clayton.
So I have a request to be able to accept a grant that the department applied for with the other 3 Northern Neck counties and Essex. For history, those that have been here a while remember the Northern Neck foster parent program. The board used to give $12,000 in local dollars as well as the other 4 counties to pool together money to make a position, mainly to keep foster homes in our county so our children didn't have to leave. We had an opportunity from Department of Social Services state to apply for a collaborative grant. We kind of fell to the wayside in COVID, so we're starting over. But this would be fully funded. I even included payroll tax. I included staff salary. About $11,000 out of the grant would go back to the department because my fiscal people and our services supervisor would have to supervise the program. We would take the lead, and it's coming at a pretty good time. Our foster care numbers have been always pretty minimal. In the last 3 months, we received 5 children in care. So it's really important that we use every resource we can. The only downside is it is reimbursement. So I would have to pay the person's salary and then wait to be reimbursed for the expenses. It's we were approved for $122,000. Salary, benefits, partial for my staff, travel, and training and recruitment with the CSB.
Okay. Board members have any questions for Ms. Clayton?
Yes. You run this in the paper, right?
Yes, we actually did because they approved it. And then with the shutdown, they kind of said freeze it. So we're getting ready to advertise again after, if it's approved in January.
Okay.
It'll be a $50,000 position, degreed position. And they will have to go to all 5 counties. So it'll be like 1 day in each county on the day of the juvenile court. So that person will be there in case we have an emergency. We need to find family. We need to place the child. So they'll be the day of juvenile court in the 5 counties.
Now, what do they have to have in order to apply? I mean,
bachelor's degree and family service experience, because we'll be wanting them. It's going to be a program coordinator position. So we'll be wanting them to have some experience working with families and running. They're going to have to be a self-starter because they're going to be in, 5 different counties. It's not going to be somebody over them. So they're going to have to be making the arrangements to go to the PTA meetings and the community organizations and trying to find these foster parents.
Mm-hmm. Will it be furnished a car or they have to use their own?
The car is also included in the grant. Their home base will be Northumberland because we'll be the fiscal agent. Because we were the fiscal agent when we had this program years and years ago. We have all the documents and all the past budgets. So they'll report to Northumberland if they don't want to drive their own car to their locality that day. And in the grant, we'll be reimbursed federal mileage rate for them driving our car.
That's all I have. Thank you.
I got a couple.
All right.
When been paying this salary in advance before you get your grant money, how long? What's the turnaround time when you?
They said no more than 60 days.
No more than 60
I'm planning on reimbursing every month because we do everything every month and it's just easier for me.
Okay. And this is a grant funded position.
It's totally grant funded.
So what happens to this individual when you don't receive this grant?
So it's a 1-year grant. We have benchmarks. It was a hard grant to apply for. You had to have so many foster parents approved in each county. If we meet that benchmark, then it's you can extend it for up to 5 years.
Okay.
That's all we are right now.
And what happens if you do not meet the benchmark?
They don't have to They don't have to
fund it.
They don't have.
Or so what happens to the position?
the position would end, but I'm not planning on us not meeting the benchmarks. There's no reason we can't find 2 foster homes in each county every quarter. And I wrote it where it wouldn't they'd at least have to do outreach, and we'd at least have tried to get foster parents. But we need them. We've been the only county in the 5 recruiting, and we have other counties calling us asking for our homes because this board has always given us extra money for recruitment. So this will also free up the $4,000 that the board gives every year, and it'll give an additional $11,000 toward my staff too. So I think it's a benefit to the county. The biggest benefit is the kids will stay here.
All right, board member, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, one other thing. Have you been able to give all those that needed all this year?
The program was just released. The funds were just released last week. They sent a schedule telling us how to do we were taking applications, but we were not allowed to process them. But that ended last week. So yes, we're starting.
Good.
Mr. Tadlock, does the county have the funds to head this off in the right direction to support it until we get reimbursements in? You said every month or every 6 months?
I'm planning on filing every month.
Every month, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think as long as it's contributed back monthly,
there won't be any issue.
There should not be any issue.
Yeah, I've double checked. I think our budget's fine. Even when they say 60 days, I think we're okay because you all fund us through the end of the year. So I still have all that money that I can kind of put forward now. The only problem going to be is their 12-month is not going to hit with the county year. Same thing we deal with CSA. We have bills coming after. So I'll just have to figure that out in June 30th.
Okay.
All right, any other questions from the board? Staff have any comments or questions? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move that we approve.
All right, got a motion to have second?
Second.
The motion is second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All against? Ms. Clayton?
Thank you,
ma'am.
Ms. Clayton, thank you for all you do for the county.
All right, next would be Operation Ceasefire Grant Award Request, Sheriff's Department, Cable Smith.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
I come with a bit of mixed news. So when I came before you in October, I requested your permission to apply for 2 grants under Virginia's Operation Ceasefire, one of which was the general grant, the second of which was the forensic technology one. The mixed news is we got one, didn't get the other. So the technology grant was, we were not awarded that grant. That was, if you recall, the much larger one. That was $60,000. We were awarded the one that was just under $2,000, and I come before you tonight to ask that you allow us to accept that award.
Board members have any questions?
You can reapply next year for that technology grant. You're gonna.
If so, the grant term year. This is my first time doing grant work, so I apologize for not knowing. It'll be within the grant term. I don't know if the legislature at this time has any other ideas if they're going to put anything out through DCJS. There are certainly other grant opportunities that we're researching now to try to fill the hole for the one we didn't get. But there's always another grant.
Do you know why we didn't receive the grant? Did they give you any feedback?
I've harassed DCJS to try to get that answer. I do not have it. If I had to guess, we have the very good problem of a relatively low crime rate. That grant was directed towards the Richmond area and Hampton Roads area. Certainly relative to those jurisdictions, our crime rate is minuscule. So it was a competitive need-based grant. Other agencies or other jurisdictions had a greater need than we, which again, is a good problem to have.
All right, any other questions? All right, what's the pleasure of the board? Move to approve.
Second.
You have a question, Mr. Long?
I want to speak to the sheriff.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. You need anything, Mr. Ted?
No, so this motion is to accept the grant. Once you do that, we've got a supplemental appropriation that we need to do. So I just want that to clarify.
Okay. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right.
All right, and the supplemental appropriation is for a portion of this because part of it is in fiscal year 26 and the other part will be in fiscal year 27, but it's going to 3102-5409 in the amount of $240.
All right, what's your pleasure, board?
Move to approve. Second.
Motions, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against? All right. Anything else, Sheriff, Mr. Tedlock?
No.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, wait, the sheriff.
Thank you.
How's the staff? Are we full of staff now with deputies and everything?
We are not. I have 3 recruits in the academy. They should graduate 1st of March and then do a minimum of 8 weeks of field training. So during that period, I count them as not available to work by themselves. So they'll be riding with somebody when they get out. I have 2 openings now. Since last month, we created the 2nd position, but that's an extra one. So really, I'm only down on the extra. So I'm down 4 right now. My animal control officer finally came back this week after injury, so he's back. So we're chipping away at it, and we're not getting many applications in.
But do you have someone that's patrolling? How late do you patrol?
We're 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yes. I like to keep it that way, but if we drop more than what I'm missing now, there's no way I can sustain that.
Well, as a board member, I can't speak for anybody else, but if it's something that you need to come before us and we need to work to get it, some way to get it,
Thank you. Absolutely. I'll do that.
Okay.
Sheriff Beecham, do you contribute some of the low applications to the salary ranges?
I would say yes. I mean, there's no way to guarantee that's what it is, but
in comparison to adjoining counties?
Yes, that's part of it.
I just want to bring it to light.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what counties? I know probably Westmoreland pay more than we do, right?
Everybody pays more than we do. And I'm not joking. I mean, in the region, everybody. Let's just say Northern Neck. Everybody pays more than we do now.
Well, we need to work on that because
I got something coming for budget year, so we're going to. Hopefully, it's going to be fair enough for taxpayers and employees alike. So we're going to bring it.
Well, I'm sure you have a majority of the people they want support. They want people protected and everything. So hopefully you'll bring it before it's soon.
It'll be during budget season. So
well, we're facing the same issue with EMS. We're losing EMS providers because of in public service we got to provide it.
Well, just for example, the last person that left because they could make more in a small town nearby, $10,000 more than we can pay at his level of experience. $10,000. We're way below.
Are you able to get many grants to help with the siren?
No. Again, that's up to, and usually that's federal. So if the feds can push out some grants, that'll trickle down through the state, and then we can apply that way. COPS grant, you remember COPS grants? That was salary, that was personnel many years ago.
Last thing, do you still have that program in schools, elementary school?
DARE? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's doing very well, and the Moose Lodge. Yes, but they fund that very well. I mean, we used to hover around $2,000 in the account. We're at $14,000. So we can, not buying everything we want, but things that we plan, we have no problem with funds right now because of Moose Lodge and donations from the community. It's been very good.
What grades is that all?
That's fifth grade. We did have middle school, but when Deputy Keeve left, he was our instructor. And I still have not filled that position yet in middle school. Hopefully that's coming next school year.
Hope so.
So,
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So keep the good work up.
Thank you. I'll pass it on. It's not just me.
Okay, yes, that's good.
All right, next item is a new animal shelter. Sheriff Bishop.
And company.
And company. Yeah, I see people coming. Good. And company.
And company. Coming up.
I will slide this there. We'll try to move around some.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Gabby. To ones who doesn't know me, I am the shelter manager. I've been with the Northumberland for the last 10 years. 7 years I've been managing the shelter. And I have to say that the shelter has been such a successful place. As a public shelter, we are one of the shelters we can serve as a model for other public shelters. We made it into a book. We have some really good reviews. People who coming out of town to adopt from us, they bragging how wonderful our shelter is, how easy the adoptions are, how clean and put together. The animals are healthy looking. We work closely with the nonprofit organization, the Friends of Northumberland County. They've been our biggest supporter. The community that provides the funds, donating items for the thrift store, sponsoring our vet bills, the way we are able to treat animals for any kind of disease, even go see specialists if needed. They pay all the vet bills. Now, so the success is great. Also, we are 9 years no-kill shelter, which for public shelter is very, very huge success. This year, we're looking pretty good. It's almost end of the year. Our numbers are still pretty good. So I think we're going to be celebrating 10-year anniversary for no-kill shelter. Like I said, that is huge. We welcome community. We have a lot of volunteers that come in to help us to exercise the dogs, work with the dogs, take them to adoption events. They help us with some of the problems at the building. We have a couple of gentlemen volunteers that will be fixing and taping things together so we can keep going. But we do have a lot of issues with the building. As you all know, the original section, to my knowledge, was built about 25 years ago or so. Nobody really has any documentation. I was trying to find out, but I couldn't get anything. And the additions was put together about 17 years ago, I believe. I don't know where to start. The problems we experience. We have septic water coming after rains from the drains to the dog kennels. We have water coming under the doors, through the foundation. Our bedroom is constantly flooded every time we have rain. We have isolation room that is non-functional. We doesn't have anything it's so small that we have dogs with parvo. We could not keep it contained because the isolation is just not proper. The plumbing, the septic is new, but we learned that there was no P-trap between the septic and the building. So for all these years, all these methanes, ethanes, whatever was coming into the building, the paint is peeling off. The frames of the kennels doors are completely rusted off. I can tell you every single room, every single nook and cranny have a problem there. And that's fixing. We had a company 3-4 years ago. We had the drains that clogged completely. We had sewer water coming through the dog kennels inside the building. So me and the animal control ended up plunging. It was all kind of debris and all kind of stuff coming up. We couldn't get it. Call Gilman. Gilman couldn't clean it. So we had to call company from Richmond. Nobody had any plans how the drain system actually is going. We tried to find something. So they end up bringing cameras, sending it down. So we do have something now from them. I think Johnny has it. They did move the clock. They clean everything, but they say because the way it's built, it's not fixable. We would have to take all the floors off the concrete and put a new drain system. So they said this clog's gonna keep happening. And I do believe we have something brewing because we've been smelling a lot more ammonia and kind of sewer water. So I do believe we have some kind of clog happening somewhere again. Way too many issues. When it rains, it pours to the building, through the light fixtures, under the door, under the foundation. It's a lot of issues. I would like for you guys, if you have time, to come see for yourself what we're dealing with on a daily basis. We are 7-day-a-week operation, 365 days a year, no holidays. We are, taking care of live creatures, live beings. So we have to be there every single day. And the building gets used and abused. And with no maintenance, and the way they build it is just not correct. The material that was used was the cheapest they could find, and it's just not good. So we spoke with the friends and we come up with a little idea, and they would like to give you a little proposal and presentation what we think that they can do for Northumberland. And I will pass the mic to Pete, and he can tell you all about it.
Good evening. My name is Peter Williams. Did any of you get the read-ahead package by any chance? Take a look at it. What I'll do is sort of go through like a Cliff's Notes since you have it. I'm just going to read this. The Friends of Northumberland. I'm Alan McCack, and I'm the treasurer of Friends of the Northumberland County Animal Shelter. So if any financial questions come up at this point, I can hopefully shed some light on it. The Friends of the Northumberland County Animal Shelter, with the support and approval of the Northumberland County Sheriff and Northumberland County Animal Shelter Manager, is bringing a proposal before the Northumberland Board of Supervisors for the Friends to fund and build a new county animal shelter on county-owned property and then donate the completed animal shelter to Northumberland County ownership. What tonight's goal for us is if you're open to the concept of building a new animal shelter, we ask the board for guidance on how to proceed together to determine the feasibility of the project. I would add that this would be all done with private funds. We're not asking for county funds.
How about grants?
We would be applying, we apply for grants on an ongoing basis already, but we would be redoubling our efforts times 10 if the county is open to a proposal and agrees to work with us toward that. We would be extending our fundraising efforts way beyond the county, statewide, and maybe even across the country to try and build this thing. So let me put a little detail to this. To build a new animal shelter with our funds on approximately 15 acres of land from either county-owned Lot 32 here in Judicial Square or Lot 30, the current county animal shelter location. The 15 acres of county-owned land would be made available by the county at no cost to us for the purpose of building the new animal shelter. And upon completion of the new facility, we would donate that new shelter to the county, and the county would agree to accept full ownership and operational responsibility for this complete facility. The reason we picked these two lots, the sheriff had given me a map of available county properties. Excuse me. And my wife and I spent a couple of great weekends just driving around trying to find these properties. And our criteria were that those two lots appear to have sufficient acreage to accommodate a larger shelter facility and space for future expansion. Let me say something about that. Gabby and I and a number of other people went around to shelters up north towards Northern Virginia and around in the northern counties. And most of the shelters that we talked to, or the people that ran it, said that before their shelter was even completed, it was obsolete. And so we're thinking in mind of, instead of building some gigantic thing, just make sure we have the property so that we can expand. And I'll tell you a little bit about the building, which should make this much easier. We're envisioning approximately a 10,000 square foot steel frame structure. Steel goes up more quickly, it's cheaper to build and maintain, and easier, more cost effective to expand or reconfigure to meet future needs. That's one of the reasons we're looking at that. And so we're looking ahead a couple of years, but this county is going to continue to grow. That's what's going to happen. And so in a couple of years, we're probably going to be maxed out, but we don't want to have to go and buy more land, build a bigger shelter, and go through this cycle about every 10 years or so. And so what we're trying to do is look ahead so that we have the property and we have the original building. And as I said, a steel frame building can be added on to much easier or reconfigured. And it's cheaper to maintain than what we've got. We're looking at housing approximately 50 dogs and 26 cats. Right now, we can only house 36 dogs and 14 cats and nothing else. So if you bring in your parakeet or your weasel or something or your cow, there's just none. And
we get a lot of people bringing in various animals that aren't dogs and cats. So we try our best to, they end up in the lobby, things like this because there isn't room for them. So we really need to make this shelter applicable to what the county needs. We're looking at the estimated cost of about $1.75 million to $2.25 million, depending on the rising costs of material and labor. We currently have $650,000 to start the project with in hand. Okay, that's not slated for anything else but this project. What we would do then is raise additional funds through fundraising programs, grants, donations, and profits realized from the Friends-owned and volunteer staff thrift store located in Burgess, which is a very successful business. And we're able to support the shelter that well, or as well as we do, because we have good income from that business, plus all the other things that our members are trying to do to
donations.
Yeah, and for donations.
Now, let me stop you for 1 second.
Sure.
So you've got $650,000 to start the project, right?
Right.
All right. So say you're into the project, full steam ahead, and fundraising and whatever other sources of income run out. What's your plan?
Well, that's a good question. There are a couple of things. We did the board. We do not have the expertise on board right now that manage construction projects. That's why all we're doing at this point is seeing if the county would be open to investigating, pursuing, allocating, or reserving a plat of land for this project. But I have some banking experience. I remember the completion bonds come to mind. I don't know what those things run and where if the project runs out of money, the bond pays. I don't know what's involved with that, but that's obviously a big concern, and that's a valid question that we do not have an answer for at this point.
Well, I don't know if I understood it. You looked at some land that the county owns?
Yes.
Where would that be?
Because there is a county, did you say where?
Yeah, where?
Oh, one is right around the back of this building here. There's about 20 some odd acres that's wooded. Okay, the other one is in the current location of the animal shelter. There's about 68 acres of land behind there that we could move the shelter back up. It's surrounded by farmland and woods and no people, no nothing. But the main things, the reason we're looking for these two is we need a central location. We need to be able to get to the vet, have the police, have the fire department, and that kind of thing. And we have to have someplace safe for the people who volunteer and walk the animals and do all that stuff that makes this work. Because right now, if you're going to come down and walk one of the dogs, you're going to have to cross 360 in front of the recycle place there, go across into the neighborhood someplace. Or put that dog in your car and drive him down to Hewlett Point. I don't know. So the other thing too is because of the chain link fences and things like that around the current shelter, because of the waste facility, you could barely get an ambulance back there. We had the fire department come by and have them take a look and, just say, okay, give it to us and what's your plan here? And they said that it would limit their choice for the need to send specific equipment in there just because there isn't enough room. Okay, that was even talked about, you pull up into the waste facility, got to the chain link fence, tend to tear the fence down so you can get a fire truck back in there. So it's got some issues there, to say the least. And the other thing too is the constant noise, because they grind up wood and trees and all that kind of stuff. And if you're trying to work there, it drives you crazy, drives the dogs crazy. And it's just not a very good environment. And that's why we would like to move it back up into the property to get sufficient room. Because right now we're sharing that with the waste facility and a couple of cell towers. And we take up a little tiny piece of that land. The rest of it is used for other things.
Okay. Have you completed your work on when you're going to start receiving donations? I know you'd be a 501c3 anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So have you decided when you want to start?
Well, we weren't going to start at all unless we knew that the county was open to this idea, to this concept, and would be. What we didn't want to do is start raising money, and then the county saying, "Well, we're not going to donate the land, or this land is spoken for, or we're not in support of this." And then we're in a position where we may have to return grants, return donations, things like that. We wanted to make sure that our objective tonight is to come away saying, "Hey, this sounds like a workable idea. Let's take it to the next step." We're not looking to commit any funds at this point. But we just wanted to put this idea in front of the board to get your thoughts, concerns.
And we'll have to work with you closely on this. It'll be committee or, committees and things like that. And so it's important, that we sort of get this straight, what we want to do. Just not go out there, write a check and have them build this thing somewhere. But there's county requirements and needs and things that we don't know about, codes and all that kind of stuff. And so that's why our assumption is that we would be better off just working with the county so that as things came up, we could get word from the county, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. No, we can't do that here, that kind of thing, rather than build it and in the end you say, that's not right. Yes, sir.
What's the significance of the property being, if this were to happen, the county property being deeded to you in the onset, and then once the project was complete, it would come back to the county?
There may be some legal way that you're not actually deeding it to us, but I can't tell you, but that you still own the property, and we're required to build the structure on there, and then we donate that structure to you guys or to the county.
There's some legalities there that there's a lot of fill in the blank issues right now that need to be filled in. Again, we're just trying to bring this before the board to see if this is a non-starter, then we've got this pool of money that we need to think about doing something else with. We want to do something very positive for the shelter, for the county, and we have we want to call it a war chest that we built over the years, and we want to make a difference. And then this is the one thing that we have focused on, was a new shelter.
But it would require us to work together, pretty on a constant basis to make this happen. That's why we haven't spent any money on anything, and we haven't asked anybody for any money, and it's just, so this has taken they brought me on about 2 years ago. It's taken me 2 years just to get to this point. I am not anything. I'm a retired Navy officer and cyber guy from DC. And I don't know anything about this stuff, but I've learned a lot about animal shelters and their requirements. One thing Gabby didn't mention, though, we had the fire department come in, and besides looking at the exterior, they walked through the place and they found that there's plastic coatings on about half the walls inside the shelter. And if that ignites, they said it will give off toxic fumes. So we're trying to see how we could work around that until we get a new shelter, besides tearing out all the walls. But that's not the answer to the question. And we got some other big issues going on here that require help.
Well, I think, Mr. Tadlock, we had discussions on the property back here past, looking at that for the future of county government.
Yes, sir.
60 some acres adjoining the property where the shelter's at.
Where the shelter is now, I think one thing you need to look at is the topography of that area. But I do know several years ago that the drain field had failed, and we rerouted another drain field to the back right corner of that property. So there would be some things that we would need to take a look at.
Well, how about the property that they mentioned? How about that?
They would be the two properties here in the courthouse complex. The board had some previous discussions about potential uses, and then the property down where the animal shelter is down.
Well, I don't think it's anything we need to drag our feet on. We need to really get to work. The one we have now is outdated, and the animals not getting the best care because of the facility. So we need to do all we can to get started, get a better facility.
May I add something? I would like to say that the need for animal shelters is greater than ever. The whole nation is experiencing income of animals like no other time before. We see a lot of animals dropping on the side of the roads. We have people calling us left and right, surrendering their dogs because they losing their homes. They move in, they can take them with them. So we have, on average, I said about 100 more animals every year now than we used to. And the shelter is just not big enough. We have putting dogs in an overflow room, which is not built for that kind of stuff. It's the whole nation is just going through it right now. So the need for the shelters is great right now. And I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. The animal cruelty is unbelievable what people do to animals. I mean, we see things that you can't unsee, and that is a big need for animal shelters.
I would like to see this move forward.
Yes.
I would like to have a county attorney to review the proposal. I would like to have the planning commission engaged in this as well. And I would like to see, once this gets moving a little farther down the road, operational cost and what additional staffing that a facility this size would require and where that funding is going to come from.
Right.
It looks like one of the key factors to start off with would be the location.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And that's why I want the planning commission.
Number one on that, with a committee with the planning commission and maybe some citizen input on it too. But as far as logistics are concerned, I would hope there would be some way to keep it somewhere near where it is now. If that works itself out, I think that would be grand, but we'll just have to see how that works out. But location is going to be, to me, the key number one factor before anything else.
Right. And I think once that gets moving forward, to answer Mr. Williams's question, is the funding to complete this project that would also be identified and have a better idea how much would be needed.
I believe that the public would really join in and give donations for this facility, So I think we need to get started as soon as possible.
Great.
Move forward.
I guess what I'm asking is the guy on the board that's sort of holding this bag is if there's somebody that could be sort of like our office in the county where we don't have to explain this to a new person every time or a new committee or something, a liaison point of contact. And, that liaison, he or she can spread us out whatever she wants, but one person who's going to be following this and knows the ins and outs of it as we know the ins and outs of it. And so just personally, that's one of the first things I would like to have somebody start, and then we can decide who to bring on and whether it's a committee or, but working with the person, that is fully knowledgeable and, it doesn't have to be reread into time and time again as things change.
Mr. Tadlock, is that something that Mr. Basie might could look into?
I can certainly talk to him.
The assistant county administrator?
Mm-hmm.
To get things
Gregory, do you have any insight from your standpoint?
Sure, Ms. Williams, members of the board, Mr. Chairman. I certainly could work something like this out. I think it's been done in other jurisdictions many, many times. If you want to go on county property, the site that you have now or some adjacent to that, the county could lease that property to the animal shelter for a term, and then the improvements could be constructed, and then the improvements could vest with the county.
Well, the plot that the shelter's on now is actually, if you go through, you said a lot of paperwork with this. It's indicated for animal shelter. That whole.
And that's the easiest path forward, right?
Yeah, that probably would.
So
it's already.
And the Planning Commission could easily look over whatever plans are developed. What I would suggest is, we go forward with the idea that it would be some kind of a lease with the improvements being donated back to the county or the county taking ownership of them. You can, not an engineer, I'm not a builder, but a concrete slab with a prefab metal building seems to me to be the ideal kind of solution for this. I mean, it's their shelter, but I mean, that's just an idea. But I don't see why this couldn't proceed in an orderly fashion. Mr. Basie might be able to take it under his wing. I don't know if this location would be the best. I mean, this isn't a legal question, but just practically speaking, I don't know if an animal shelter on the same grounds as the courthouse would be good with the noise and other factors. But where you are now may be ideal.
Yeah. Well, we picked the two places that offered safety, accessibility, central to the location of the county, things like that. And so these were really the only two that had enough property to do anything like this. Most of the pieces were small or in not a good location for, they wouldn't add anything to what we've got right now. So that's the only reason we brought these two up and give everybody an alternative.
Mr. Cost is here with the Planning Commission. Could he speak, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, Mr. Cost, you got any comments?
Yeah. John Cost, Vice Chairman of the Planning Commission. As you guys know, we did a review of all the county property to determine what could be used. Certainly this stuff could be part of it. What I would recommend is, it's been said here, is to refer this to the Planning Commission to review the land use options as we've already been talking about them. In order for that to happen, I think you guys need to pass a motion directing us to take that on. And we have some time in our docket right now, so this would be a good time for us to handle that.
Okay. Also, if I may, part of the Planning Commission's role is also to come up with budgets for capital improvements. So that might be a good avenue for the shelter organization to develop a capital budget for this thing, which sounds like you guys already have, or at least you have considered that. And then not only the capital, but also the management and improvements that are going to be needed to maintain this facility, because you don't want to build it and then, and then 5 or 10 years later, you got to do a bunch of improvements or maintenance costs. So that has to be built.
And we typically start our capital budget review process in early February, so the timing is very good. Just a thought.
Thank you. Well, I think we need to send it to the Planning Commission for starters.
I think we probably need two motions, though. One is to have the county move forward with the planning process. And the second one would be send it down to the Planning Commission. Would that be the best way of doing it?
I'm going to send it to the Planning Commission for starters.
Okay.
Okay. Need a motion on that? Need a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Oh. All right. Got a motion and a second.
I'm sorry. Just for clarification, what is the
state your motion?
Motion is send this down to the Planning Commission.
And they'll bring it back.
They'll bring it back to us for recommendation.
Okay.
And that's to determine the location. All right.
Keep it in mind the environmental and cost of the situation in mind when looking at this project.
Okay. Just that also include looking at the capital capital budget portion of that as well.
Right. I think you should add it all right in the same motion. Put it all together.
Planning Commission, you look at the economics and the environmental impact of it also. Where, for instance, artesian well, you go off somewhere another bill, that's $100,000 right there. And you've already got it where you're at.
That's why we're talking to you.
I second Mr. Fisher's motion.
All right, we got a motion second. We got any other discussion on it now? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All against? All right, motion passes.
Tell Mr. Basie that's what he gets for not being here.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank y'all too.
What else can we get?
Thank you so much. And if you find time in your busy schedule, please come see us. You will see how good place the Northumberland shelter is. It's really good impact on the community, and we are much loved by the community. So please come see us. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
John.
Mr. Chairman, real quick, Ms. Clayton actually had a second grant in the presentation. I don't know if
Ms.
it's.
Clayton, come on back up.
This one's an easy, quick one. Last week, we got notification of a funding opportunity through Jesse DuPont for early childhood direct services. They're small grants, and we're doing our second winter diaper drive. Diapers for dads. You might have seen it around the community. The only requirement is dad drives through, has a kid with him, and he gets a free case of diapers. So we put in, it was due, but I just got it last week. It was due by December 30th. I put in a small grant to do the same exact thing in the spring. It's about $5,000. They didn't give any details. I don't know if they're paying directly. I don't know if it's flowing through. There wouldn't be a local match with DuPont funding. So it was such a quick turnaround, but we look for every opportunity that we can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when it get close to the date, you'll go out, you have flyers and put it in the paper and all.
We're going to do this one if we get approved for the spring. December 27th, you should see it all over social media now. We're doing one at the Boys and Girls Club in Lancaster. We're partnering together with the Virginia Foundation for Fatherhood. It's trying to do a lot of outreach to get dads involved. So it's a diapers for dads.
Yeah, that Jim.
All right, gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All against? All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you for
One
keeping me
question.
straight.
When is the date for the fuel allotment for those in need going to be coming out?
They never post until the end of December.
We spoke about this last year in the fact that you give it to them for January, February, March, and April. They need it in December. Here we got snow coming now, and these people got no oil in their tanks.
Absolutely. And our allotment from Energy Assistance, the one with Dominion, was only $1,200.
Oh.
So, and most of the oil companies require 100 gallons. So right now we're sending people to the link. We get calls.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can. And I think before I had talked to the board about if we got into the situation where we were seeing people, especially our elderly, heating with their stoves, leaving their ovens open, and we didn't have the funding because we don't get any. I've never asked for that. I did. I did ask for it in the budget one year. And I think it was just kind of sitting there if we needed it. We didn't. But if it came to that, I would make sure I got with Mr. Tadlock.
Yeah, Mr. Long, we need to work on this a little bit.
Yes, you're right, because, Northumberland and Lancaster switch every so often is about the most mature population in Virginia,
65 and older.
That's right.
Yes. If it's Northumberland is number one, if you count people living on their own. Lancaster's number one if you count the facilities.
Right. And we're talking about people, believe it or not, some of them getting $300 a month, Social Security, some $500.
It's getting bad.
It's a blessing, how they make it. So they need that. They need that help.
And we're getting calls from EMT. We're seeing more falls with the elderly. They're weekly. Sometimes they're more than once a week. But yeah, it's probably something we need to talk about as strategic planning for the elderly.
Besides Middlesex, Northumberland has the highest number of people going to the food banks. Besides Middlesex, I mean, we that's Oh, that's something to think about. You got a large percentage of people. The honest way they're living is food bank.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness if anything happens in January, the federal government, the SNAP is okay for now. So that's in there. So, but anything we can do to help you, just let us know.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clayton. All right, my next item would be update from Northumberland County Schools, Dr. Leslie, Aaron Piker.
Good evening to the board and to the community. I am not Dr. Leslie, but I am in her place. I am Javonda Ashton, the Assistant Superintendent. Happy to be here to give you guys some great updates of the great things that are happening in Northumberland schools. The first thing I want to definitely pinpoint is that our middle school and high school has been having a lot of collaboration and some field trips with our Mega Pro team to learn about the contributions to the community that aligns with their science standards. So we're really excited about our students learning about the great company that we have here in our community and their contributions. Our middle school and high school band and chorus did a phenomenal job last night. They had their Christmas concert. It was well attended and the students did a marvelous job. It was very, very good. So I'm hoping that you guys can attend when we have those events at the school. And of course, we have a lot going on with our students. It's the holiday times. They're going on field trips, educational field trips, and they're participating. Our band's participating in the parades and other events. Instructional updates. I would love, so we actually, this week, we received our accreditation ratings, and I am so excited to share that all 3 of Northumberland County Public Schools are fully accredited for the 2025-2026 school year. And that is a huge, you can give them a round of applause.
Yeah.
They deserve it. We are so proud of the amazing work of our teachers, our staff, and definitely our community and our families. This is a collective effort. So this is a great accomplishment, and we're going to keep that momentum going into this school year. And that is because this is the final year of the accreditation system that we're currently on. As you all have probably heard, we have new cut scores and new performance level ratings that will begin in the 2026-2027 school year. What that means is that our schools will be identified by one of 4 ratings, either a distinguished school, on track, off track, or needs intensive support. Which will also be implemented are the new cut scores. This is our preparation year. So new cut scores for math and English will be implemented in the 2026-2027 more rigorous scores to align with the rigorous standards that were fully implemented. The assessments were fully implemented in the spring of 2025. I'd also like to celebrate that Northumberland High School and the superintendents, we have what's called the superintendent snapshot. We have the links in the agenda for everybody to go through and look at all this wonderful information, but I want to let you know that Northumberland High School is part of the top 5 high schools, and that was by total points. So we were number 2 out of 5 schools. Yes. There are 17 school districts in Region 3, so that is a great accomplishment for Northumberland. We're a small school. They were top 5 mastery in reading, top 5 mastery in science, top 5 in 4-year graduation rate, top 5 readiness in 6-year graduation, and also top 5 readiness in chronic absenteeism. So our schools are doing great things. Our teachers are doing amazing things. And I'd like to invite any and everyone to come and to see the amazing and great things that are happening in our school systems and the great learning and teaching that's happening. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
All the teacher positions are they filled?
We currently we have a couple of positions that are not filled at this time. So we are going through some transitions, but we do have those positions posted, and we're looking hard for the right, highly qualified candidate.
Okay. How about the government class? The reason I'm asking that, This is the first year I went to the school and I used to register kids to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wasn't anybody, I believe most of those kids said they were doing work on computers.
They were doing work on Edgenuity. We actually were in the process of interviewing for a history position. What we are, stay tuned, I'll say like that, but we are interviewing and we are actively looking.
Good, because this is the first year I usually register at least 10 or more kids. I didn't get one this year.
Really? Okay.
And wasn't nobody pushing it, the importance of vote.
Yes, sir.
They have that right, and they need to be taught the importance of voting.
Yes, sir. I agree.
So
we are actively looking. Absolutely, we are.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? You're welcome.
That's all I have.
All right. Any other questions?
Just want to thank you, schools, the elementary school course, and it was the middle school, Morgan, course. It came and participated at Christmas tree lighting.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. They're amazing. And actually, elementary school, right now, currently at 6:30, are having their concert tonight. Okay. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Next would be the nutrition funds carryover request. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up.
I'll try to be quick because I know Mr. Long is getting close to your time. So key points, I did submit some information in your packet, and for the public, that information is available on board docs, both for the school board meeting and the Board of Supervisors meeting. So I am happy to say, continue on what Ms. Ashton talked about, super pleased. We have Ms. Samuels here in the room with us. She is the accounts payable par excellence. We have now, since October 1st, pushed out $995,276.44 in back payments. We are now about 75% current on our payments. After today, we may be closer to 82% because we got some of the big bills paid. So for the first time also today, for the first time since November of 2024, we have actually posted revenue in the school system. So I'm super pleased to say that I've been working very closely with the county treasurer's office. The school, the state report, and the county treasurer's office now all match, have been reconciled on revenue. So we now know what revenue is coming in, and we're now posting it to certain locations. So that is really actually a very big, I know it's kind of geeky, but it's a super big achievement. Last week, the school returned $125,000 to the county. That was, the county administrator has that email, and it's refunds from prior years. And thanks to the work that Dr. Leslie and Ms. Ashton are doing, it's possible there'll be another $227,000 that'll be coming very soon.
It's in the reimbursements.
That's on reimbursements. Now, I will warn that we have potentially some gaps based on some other grants that there's some moving parts. So I think what may end up happening is some of this $227,000, maybe $50,000 or so, might sit in an account for a little bit just to make sure that we don't have some gaps. Because we are in a position to be able to look at revenue and look at more accurate expenses, I've now started going through all the account lines. We have account lines that are still being spent out of that don't have any funds that has to be rectified. There's some changes that need to happen in the accounts. Those are starting to happen now. So very happy that we're in a position to be able to A, return money, and B, balance the revenue side. The expenditure side we're still working on, and Dr. Kern is trying to, she's reconciled, I think, November and December of 2024. So at least we're in the current calendar year. So that's a start. There has still been no gaps in payroll benefits. That continues on thanks to the work that's being done by the team there. The county, us, Ann and I are hosting a budget open house on December 17th. It's from 6 to 7:30. Right now it's planned for the high school auditorium. It is not the formal budget hearing of record because per state code, if you're going to do that public meeting, you have to actually present a budget.
And we will not have the budget next week. What we're going to be talking about is what the process is. In the packet you got, I shared a little bit about what the process is. We have done 11 accounts now have 3-year spending histories posted to the school website. Anybody can go in and look and see what has been bought for the past 3 years. That information is extremely valuable in prepping for the next budget cycle. So next week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have full days of meetings. We're meeting with each of the division directors and each of the leaders of the schools. We're sitting down with them. We're giving them a status of what their current budget is, and we're asking them what next year needs to look like. So as part of the work that we've been doing, because we've identified the past 3 years in spending, we're able to look and see what aligns with what the superintendent and assistant superintendent are doing for instruction and what might be outside the boundaries. So what we're doing is anything we think might be outside the boundaries is getting shaved off. And then we're going to ask the leadership that they need to defend, if you will, and say how that expense directly links to student achievement or an activity that can be measured as to student achievement. So I think we're pretty excited about what we're looking at in terms of where we are with the budget planning process, where we are with payments. It works. I'm excited. We're actually current. I mean, it's like a big step.
I think you've reached a milestone.
Right?
Yes. Yes, literally.
The fact that we assigned revenue today.
Yes.
One, we figured out how to do it. So thanks to the advice from the folks that were helping us. We've been getting some great help from Mary and at the county and Gail and Pam. The fact that we reconciled, I think, with the county treasurer's office on revenue, I'm just excited. So there's happy things are happening. The account mismatches still need to be addressed. We still have to figure out why we're having debits out of accounts that don't have any funds. Yes, there's work to be done. We're not current on all the spending requests that are coming in. Dr. Kern and I are actually looking at figuring out how to manage incoming. Right now, everything just comes in, and I will take it as a vote of confidence. If we don't approve purchase orders and invoices within a day of getting them, people are anxious and send us emails. That's a big change from where we were 2 months ago, where nobody was getting answers and nobody was getting response. I'm not exactly sure what expectation we've set for turnaround time, but I guarantee it's still not a day. So we're working through that, and we're working closely again with the principals and the finance teams to make sure that we have things cataloged. I'll stop there to see if there's any questions on the reports that I sent. I recognize that these reports are not exactly what we should be submitting for quarterly appropriations. You were looking for actual account status. I can run those reports. It's for expenditures and revenues, you're still going to see that our revenues are way short because we haven't booked them, but we started booking them today. For the quarterly reports and the monthly reports, we'd like to give you, I don't exactly know the detail you want, so I know we're going to work with Luttrell and the school board to try to figure that out. But I can tell you which accounts have negatives and which ones are 70% spent and 30% spent. I don't want to bore you with all of that, but I would like to understand your resolution last year passed a requirement that there be monthly reports before you vote on the next apportionment. And I don't know if the weekly reports we've been giving you and these monthly reports are adequate or if you want more detail. So I'm open, Ann and I are both open to how much boredom you would like and how much detail you would like in the accounts. So what I can say, Mr. Williams, I think you asked me this a while ago, there is a light at the end of the tunnel and it is not a train. I'm very happy to say it's not an oncoming train. So I'll pause there for questions before we go to the 2 requests I do have tonight.
All right, any questions from the board?
I've got one. Refresh my memory on the payroll situation at the school. Are we still needing Ms. Zobier's services? Are we on a contract with her on a month-to-month basis?
It's month-to-month, and right now we're still, yes, because Ms. Swan is, what they did the first month, it was basically, she kind of shadowed, then the second month it was learning, and then now Ms. Swan is actually doing the payroll with Ms. Zobier shadowing. And so just to make sure that we have everything, I think we're looking at, I'm not sure if it's one, I think it's just one more, I'm not sure. I have to check with Ann.
I think we may need to extend that out. Initially, I think we were thinking December, but there's some other things that we are looking at, and I believe we need to extend that out. So
yeah, just to make sure there are no hiccups. And I do want to say too that we have $47,000 in invoices from last year that need to be paid. This $125,000 return that's coming to the county is a direct result of the work that UHY had been doing. So we owe them a little bit of money for last year, but it's like 30,000, I think. So it's less than what they found for us in the taxes. So I'm knock on wood, I think we found all the 25 invoices, but every day I still get surprised. We have vendors coming to us and saying, hey, you haven't paid our bill. And we look at each other and say, what bill? But that's getting only like maybe one now every 2 weeks. So I think overall things have, and thanks to the leadership of the school and the collaboration with all the team, we've been visiting the schools. Yes, there are some concerns and issues. I think there's, again, Mr. Brand, as you've mentioned, change happens. So we still have to work through some of that, but I think we're in a much different position than we were a few months ago.
Absolutely.
So there are 2 requests tonight. One is going to be the nutrition funds carryover request is usually done every year in July. I'm doing it now. We know what the amount is, and it's funds that remained from the fiscal 25. They carry over into 26. They are legally allowed to carry over. They're used for instances like if there's a shutdown, a major piece of equipment. So that you have a request to carry over $340,333.38 from fiscal year 25 into fiscal year 26.
I thought that money was supposed to have been spent for new kitchen equipment here a year ago.
There was some kitchen equipment purchase, but I thought that was with the money that was carried over from the prior year, but I will check.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
So.
I know that, and I know now there's 2 new pieces. There's, I think, a new refrigerator, something that's got to be purchased, or an oven. So when I met with Ms. Hamlet, there was something that had been purchased with the prior year's money.
When these funds, federal funds?
Yes.
And how much longer can you keep carrying them over?
Well, these funds will get used this year. So then next year,
I
anticipate we should have the same amount of carryover. Otherwise, we're overspending our annual. So it's consistently hovered around this amount. I haven't done the deep dive into that account yet to see these funds should be spent first so that any new funds get carried over if needed.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, any questions? All right, what's your pleasure?
Move that we approve.
Second. All right, got a motion second. Got any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All against? All right.
And the next one is actually the funding for the next quarter. So it's time to do the next quarterly appropriation. And you have in front of you a request for each of the accounts. The amounts for the next quarter appropriation have been reduced by the advances that I have been requesting for the past 2 months. So if you do the analysis against what was requested last time, you'll notice that the instruction category is lower than it was for the second quarter. And I think it's the admin category is lower than it was because I've been asking for advance appropriation to pay bills. That money had to come out because it's no longer there.
Board members, you have any questions? No questions. What's your pleasure?
I move that we approve. This is not any new money. It's money that we appropriated a while back. That's my motion.
No second.
All right. Anything special needs to be done to the motion, Luttrell?
That's what I was getting ready to say. Either a total amount or we can do the each category if you'd like. 30-6000-6100. It should be a total of $3,857,758. To line item 30-6000-6200, $363,128. 30-6000-6300 is 367,406. 30-6000-6400 is $546,190. 30-6000-6600 is $7,500. And 30-6000-6800 should be $232,128.
What was the total? Yeah, we don't have a total here.
Oh, where's my, you're right. I don't have a total here.
Let me double check my numbers. I think it's 5,374,110, but let me double check that. Correct. $5,374,110.
Okay. All right.
$10.
We got a motion. Do we get a second?
Yep, second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's all of our presentations tonight. Next is the county administrator's report.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if, since it's 7 o'clock, we do have 2 public hearings. I don't know if the board wishes to.
No, I was thinking about that. Would be nice if we get these public hearings. We can come back to the county administrator's report. That's
right.
Not pushing anything.
Right. If you want to do public comments and public hearings.
Comments and then the public hearings.
That's fine.
All right. That okay with y'all?
That sounds good.
All right. We'll do the public hearings first. Yeah, public hearing first. And then we got the, all right, thank you, man. All right, I'll open the public comment period. I don't have anyone on the sign-up sheet. Would anyone like to speak tonight?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Question. Luttrell, do you have a statement that you put out on social media in regards to the reassessment?
Yes, I can just read that directly if that's all right with the board. So we did put out a clarification as there was some information being circulated regarding the school finances and that they're not driving the increased real estate assessments. Briefly, the county is aware of recent rumors suggesting that the local school system's financial needs are responsible for higher real estate assessment values. This information is incorrect, and the county is issuing this clarification to ensure residents have accurate factual guidance. Assessments reflect the real estate market, not the county budget. Virginia law requires all localities to base real estate assessments on current fair market values. This means assessors must determine what properties would sell for in today's real estate market. Assessment values cannot be adjusted to meet the county's or the school system's budget needs. The recent increase in property assessments is the direct result of strong real estate market activity, including higher home sale prices across the region. The financial condition of the school system or any county department plays no role in determining assessed values. Next section is the tax rate will be equalized. To ensure fairness to taxpayers, Virginia law also requires the county to calculate an equalized tax rate whenever reassessment causes the overall tax base to rise. The equalized rate is the rate that would generate the same amount of revenue as the previous year before reassessments. The Board of Supervisors will review the equalized rate and may choose to adopt it or consider a different rate as part of the annual budget process. Any rate higher than the equalized rate requires an advertised public hearing, ensuring transparency and public input. Now, currently, we are going under an appeal process. The appeal process is occurring now with the assessor. If anyone wishes to appeal their assessment, the assessor is scheduling those hearings now, and I have the phone number, and I'll read that here shortly. But you need to do that between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., no later than Monday, December 15th by 4 p.m. to set up an appointment to discuss your assessment with the assessor. All hearings will be conducted at 6958 Northumberland Highway, which is the former EVB Bank or currently the school board office here in Heatsville. And that number to schedule the hearing is 888-546-2855. Again, that number is 888-546-2855. In addition to that, after the assessor holds their hearings, a second part to that to appeal the assessment process is a Board of Equalization. And I've sent some information out to the board members requesting each one of you from each district to appoint an individual for the Board of Equalization. They would not begin that process until March timeframe of next year. The board will appoint them, but ultimately they will get certified by the circuit court, and they do have to go through training through the Department of Taxation. So at some point, we do need to get the board, hopefully by the January meeting, to appoint individuals to the Board of Equalization so we can go and get them certified.
One each district.
One per each district, yes, sir. And I've sent information out related to who has served on that the Board of Equalization in the past.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, after receiving Mr. Tadlock's email about the Equalization Board, I called the gentleman that served the last cycle, and he wasn't interested. So I jumped right on searching for a new person, and I have someone that's willing to accept it, and I'd like to nominate that person, if that's all right with you tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Her name is Susie Smith. She's a resident of Reedville. She's involved in real estate. She's been in real estate for 7 years, and she's been a resident of Northumberland County for, I think she told me, 26 years. She's the right person for that job, and I made the motion to nominate her for the Equalization Board from District 5.
All right. Got a motion to have a second? Second. A motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Motion passes. One down, 4 to go.
Yep, that's right.
Anything else?
Mine passed away.
That was all I had on the previous.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Bragg, you have any other comments?
That's it.
All right. All right. I will get back to the public hearings now. We have no one on the sign-up sheet. Anyone like to speak?
Yeah, Mr. Jones.
You come on up to the microphone.
Mr. Chairman, is public comments.
Public comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just for clarification.
Public comments. And we will allow every person who wants to speak 4 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. My name is John Jones. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
For allowing the opportunity. And I appreciate the comment that I just heard. It's better if I had known that before I got here. But one concern I have, realizing that the 1% of the Board of Equalization is going to bring the rate down, because when I got my Christmas present, it was a shock with the reassessment. But let me just say that what I heard is that the assessor goes and does the assessment. Now, because of the interest of time, and I'll be sending my comments in writing, because I expected more people here. But I have some properties. Jim knows the property. The picture that's on my assessment is taken from my neighbor's house, which got the side of the garage and the side of the house. And then on top of that, My assessment went up 40-some thousand, $60,000 on a 1930 built house. And when you look at the house, the roof is metal, completely rusted. You go inside, there's part of the ceiling is falling down. On the outside, the wood is rotten. And then my assessment goes up. That's just one example, which I'm appealing. Another example is that my neighbor's house, the picture does not represent the house. The house is real estate and the picture is an RV. So it's evident that somebody just rode around and took pictures and filled in the numbers on a template. And I understand getting to market. I'm a real estate agent myself. I understand that. And also in my development, there's a picture of a driveway, not the house. And when I talk to people, they say, well, you live on the water, so your assessment will be higher. The value of being on the water is in the land. It's not in my house. The house that I have is a contractor grade house, has not had any improvements since 2005 when it was built. It's classified as B10. My assessment went up some $300 and some $1,000. Okay. I pulled numbers from the real estate, that 110 properties, 2,000 square feet. I came up with the best on average, using cost, the replacement cost, $533,000. My assessment is $758,000. And with that 74% rate that's being applied, my tax bill is going up over $4,000. You can't do that. It can't do, because what's going to happen is that we are people that can't pay. You will end up having a distressed market. The house is going on the market, so you're glutted with houses. The values are going down. The real estate market for people that are renting, they got to pay more taxes. The people that are renting can't pay, so now you got more people that are on the street. There has to be a better way, and I understand every 6 years, but you can't do the double whammy, raise the rate and raise the assessment. And I'm sending my appeal in, and I'll be sending in the public comments that I have, because I expected some more of my neighbors here to speak. But the thing is, and I don't know if it's because we are not involved earlier. What I heard tonight, it would have been nice if all that had been said when we got to the assessment, but better still, don't do a 75 cent rate if you know there's going to come down in the 40s. That rate has to come down into the 40s. It has to. And when I took my assessment and looked at it for the 6 years, if I divided that by 6, that was a normal increase in my real estate taxes. I mean, there are more than one ways to do it, but you cannot do increase in assessment, and then when you're doing the assessment based on a template, it's what you're doing. You're looking at it and say, oh, that house there is so many square feet based on last year, I'm going to increase it by 10% across the board. My assessment went up 86%. 86%. And some of the people in here, there's the lowest one in my church, went up 64%. 64%. And a lot of these people are on fixed income. I'm on fixed income myself. We can't afford to do it. And then when I looked at the budget, our budget had basically been the same. I looked at revenue, the best I could, 1%. Don't get us, in my development, I sampled 10 houses in my development. The tax increase on 10 houses was $46,000 over last year. That's a lot of money out of 10 houses. And I didn't have time because we had such a short notice and had to refresh myself as to what was going on, because it was sticker shock when I got it. I mean, you're looking at this, that's big money. We can't afford it. So if somebody needs some help, wants somebody to be on the equalization board, I'll be glad to help. Because there's a way to do it, and it will smooth things out for people, and we all can live here nice and comfortable. This is a nice community. It's a nice community. We don't have the stores that our neighboring counties have, but I mean, that's something that we get to. And it was nice to know that, because I've heard it myself. Well, they're trying to get the money for the problems at the school. No, that's not what I read. What I read was that the real estate stands on its own, not the school. You're not trying to cover all of that, but we didn't know that. And I was glad to hear whoever made that presentation. And I would suggest that that goes to everybody so that people can read it and they'll have a better understanding. But I thank you, gentlemen and lady.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else like to speak?
It's been a while, gentlemen. Maurice Johnson, Reedville. Y'all may remember a couple of years ago, and this is to back up what Luttrell was saying. A couple of years ago, we had a full house here because we had money problems. And in fact, I recall we had spillover going into the courtroom next door, and the TV screen was piped in there. I gave a talk on that evening, and in it, I had done the homework to identify that the pending assessment was going to show property values increasing at a minimum of 55%. So from my chair, none of this is a surprise. Saw it coming, and a lot of folks think that the schools were the absolute driver of the thing. They did have a share in it, but the reality is that reality drove it. A large part of it because tax increases have been held at bay for a good number of years in an unhealthy fashion. And that, holding the tax rate at bay, was done at the behest of the people. And regrettably, most nights we come into a Board of Supervisors meeting and the benches are usually empty. There's a pretty good turnout here tonight. But the reality is this wasn't unforeseen. It wasn't a conspiracy. And it was all just part of the way you have to manage reality. And with that, I'll leave you all alone.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? All right.
Are we allowed to speak online?
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is Jonathan Harris.
What was your name, sir?
Jonathan Harris on Dotley Road in Eachville, Virginia. I was just going to ask the board if there is an update on the right-of-way dispute, Chew County land on that property with access to that being worked on. I know the board's been working on it. I was just checking this month for an update.
Yes, Dominic.
Gregory, you want to comment on anything?
I don't have an update to provide at this time.
There is no update at this time. All right. Good. I said that there is no update at this time.
Oops, thank you.
He understood you.
He understood. All right. I didn't quite catch it. All right. Would anyone else that's online like to speak tonight in the public comment period? Anyone else that's online like to speak in the public comment period? All right, since we don't have anyone else that wants to speak, I'll close the public hearing. All right. Now we can start on our public hearings here. Our first hearing tonight is requested by John D. Runkle. And Mr. Marston, would you mind take over on that, please?
Yes, sir. We have a request by John Runkle, owner, for a conditional use permit to allow a commercial kennel on property zoned A1 agriculture. Property is shown as tax map parcel 15-1-100A and is located at 3150 Northumberland Highway.
Hey, Mr. Runkle, you here tonight?
Yes.
Come on up, sir. Come on up and state what you'd like to be doing, Mr. Runkle.
Well, we are proposing to have a dog boarding kennel, commercial kennel, on the property that I purchased here this year. Not exactly sure how much in detail you want me to go.
Much detail as you want. The more
Well, it's going to be a 10 kennel structure. We haven't pulled the trigger on purchasing the units yet until we get approval. And as soon as we do, we will order them. It takes 6 to 8 weeks typically for them to be completed and shipped to us. They're going to be built by an outside manufacturer that does dog kennels. I think on my application, I had included a picture of one of their 4 kennel units because they didn't have the 10 kennel unit photo available. And that's about all I can say at this point. That's what we're looking at doing.
Okay. Board members have any questions for Mr. Runkle before I open the public hearing?
So at a maximum, it's going to be
10.
10.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's going to be 10, yes. No questions? Not right now. All right, Mr. Runkle, let us open the public hearing and then we'll call you back up, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Open the public hearing here. I have no one on the sign-up sheet. Would anyone like to speak on this issue? Anyone like to speak on this issue? All right, would anyone that's online tonight like to speak on this issue for Mr. Runkle? Anyone that's online like to speak? No. All right, I'll close the public hearing. And now, Mr. Marston, would you read those conditions, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Suggested conditions, if approved, are that all necessary permits and/or licenses shall be obtained from all appropriate regulatory agencies. This operation, classified under the zoning ordinance as a commercial kennel, shall be limited to 10 boarding pens as described in the application. Any expansion shall come back before the Board of Supervisors for approval. Dogs not owned by the property owner shall be leashed at all times while outside fenced areas. The facility and any proposed fenced area shall be kept clean and free of any offensive odors that may carry to adjoining properties. All lighting shall be non-reflective and directed downward to prevent any glare on adjoining properties. This permit shall be non-transferable, and non-compliance of any of these conditions shall result in this permit to come back before the Board of Supervisors for possible revocation.
All right, Mr. Runkle, are those conditions okay with you?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay. Board members have any other questions, anything?
I mean, this property sits back off of the road.
Yeah, he's back off the road.
It's not on the roadside.
Yeah. All right, I would like to make a motion that we approve this application with the suggested conditions.
And your motion is made, sir?
I'm sorry, Mr. Krieger, you are correct. This motion is made in due consideration of an administrative record before the body, including Planning Commission's deliberations and recommendations, the information received via the public hearing, including statements offered by staff, the applicant, the members of the public health and safety, the general welfare of the community, public necessity, convenience, and the exercise of good zoning practices and the body's legislative prerogative and pursuant to the body's statutory authority. And I'll restate my motion that we grant this request for Mr. Runkle with the suggested conditions.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Got any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against? Mr. Runkle, go ahead.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, sir. All right. And next is a revision to the Northumberland County zoning ordinance. Mr. McKenzie.
Yes, sir. Revisions to the Northumberland County zoning ordinance, section 148-50, piers B, removing the prohibition for shelter roofs on private non-commercial piers, section 148-151, boathouses ordinance, to add shelter roofs in the title, to add number 1, shelter roofs shall not exceed 400 square feet and 20 feet in height. Add to number 2, 7, and 8, the words "and shelter roof." In addition, to revise the table of usages to add shelter roofs as a by right use on private non-commercial piers in all zoning districts except R1, not allowed, and as a conditional use in R4, and add shelters roof with objections as a conditional use on private non-commercial piers in all zoning districts except R1, which are not allowed. At the October 16th Planning Commission meeting, the public hearing was held, and the Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend this to be adopted. You have the modified language in your packet. And at the Planning Commission, we had one person who was in support of the project. And this week we've had somebody that did object to shelter roofs but he did not, he was not at the Planning Commission meeting. So we've had one objection so far, and I believe you all have that.
Okay. All right. Board members have any questions for open public hearing?
Does VMRC have any say in this?
VMRC does have a say in it, and I believe we have to hold the public. If there's a conditional use, we would have to hold a public hearing here, and then they would have to go down to VMRC for another public hearing if there are objections. Is that correct, Philip? So we try to keep it simple because VMRC already has rules, and there's a second step in this process.
What's the status with the adjoining county like Lancaster regarding this?
Well, Lancaster doesn't allow boathouses. And the closest county that I believe that does allow shelter roofs, I think it's Essex County. And King George as well, I've been informed.
We have a separate ordinance for the boathouse.
I'm sorry?
Don't we have a separate ordinance for the boathouse?
Yes, sir. We're trying to incorporate the shelter roofs in the boathouse ordinance. The first ordinance we have to modify is the pier ordinance because we prohibit it in the pier ordinance. And then in the boathouse ordinance, we tried to add components that would allow the shelter roofs and guidelines for that in the boathouse ordinance. So it's going to mimic the boathouse ordinance, and it's going to be by right unless the adjacent property owners have objections, and that triggers a conditional use process like the boathouses do.
Will part of the ordinance put the wording in that BMRC will have a say in it?
I don't know the answer to that.
The current boathouse ordinance does not include that. As it's presented, no, sir.
Okay.
Mr. McKenzie, what was the objection from the Planning Commission member?
Well, there wasn't an objection at the Planning Commission level. I'm sorry, I misspoke. There was a citizen that supported it and said he was glad this was happening, but none of the planning commissioners, there was no objections at the Planning Commission level. And the recent objection we just got this week.
These structures are up to 400 square feet, 20 feet in height, and that's from low water mark, isn't it?
Yes, sir, just like the boathouses.
400 square feet is a pretty good size area on that dock.
The VMRC regulations say that you can have a maximum of 400 square feet appurtenances, and that's L heads, T heads, and the sun shelter. So altogether, your L head, T head, and sun shelter cannot be more than 400 square feet.
Can you have it at your bulkhead? Not on your dock, but on your bulkhead?
This is for non-commercial piers, on non-commercial piers. So it would have to be over the water.
You have to put a pier beside your bulkhead, then do it.
It could attach to the pier, yes, sir. It could, as long as low water touched that bulkhead. Technically, yes, sir.
Right, and you have docks going down the shoreline and a creek, cove, whatever you want to call it. You know, they're sticking out here, some coming on this angle, that angle, straight, and each of them has a building out there on there. What is that going to do to the view, everybody else's view looking at?
That's why we have built in the objection. Now,
Yeah, I understand that, but
Well, who objects? Can the next door neighbor object, or can somebody from Northern Virginia?
it's the adjacent landowners, and
The adjacent landowners would be notified, and then if the waterway is less than 500 feet, then those across the waterway that would be affected by the line of sight would be notified.
Can John Doe citizen come in and object? Be up to the discretion of the board?
They could object, but it wouldn't be a valid objection to the structure being in their line of sight. So it would not be considered. BMRC could consider it, but the county would not consider that as a viable objection.
So the next door neighbor, and who else? What was the limitation besides the next door neighbor?
If the waterway is less than 500 feet wide, then they're notified across the waterway.
Because Richard, you know as well as I do, because some of these creeks bend and twist and turn, and there might be somebody 2,000 feet up the creek. This could completely block their view.
Block their view. Creeks, a lot of creeks are not 500 feet wide, or they're right at 500 feet. So the opposite side of the creek is going to be, would have to be notified. A lot of things to consider. No, right where down in Cotton Creek, everyone on the opposite side would have to be notified.
And if I may, that's how boathouses are treated now as well.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And I'm not saying this might not be the greatest thing in the world, but I just want trying to bring up all the questions I can. Any other questions, Mr. Bishop?
Those roofs, they can be roofs or shed roofs, either one.
in the boathouse ordinance, it's a roofs.
It has to be.
Mm-hmm. That's the a roof.
Any material on the roof, shingles, metal, whatever? Guess it makes any real difference as long as that's covered.
No.
All right.
Roof pitch?
4 to 12.
4 to 12. On
or less. No less than 4 on 12.
All right.
480 square feet.
400 square feet.
400 square feet. You want it to a side. Mr. Morrison, do you think this will be all right? That's what you get paid the big bucks for.
There's a process right now that the state does allow this. So this would be correlating our ordinance with what the state allows. I think that's as far as I'm willing to go.
You know, how did you come up with the 400 square feet?
That's BMRC's.
That's BMRC
restriction.
400 or less.
Yes.
Most everybody's going to ask for 400.
A 400 square foot area is a regular area out there.
It is, especially when you add on another 700 for a boathouse.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a lot of area out on the water. That's what I was looking at with the 400 square feet. 100 square feet is, that's right much area right there. That's enough area to sit.
It ain't so bad when you're doing it on the river where it's 1.5 miles, 2 miles wide, but up in these creeks where it's 500 feet, 300 feet wide, a lot of creeks are 300 feet wide or less.
If someone came in and applied, just let's say we changed this ordinance and someone came in to apply for this, what involvement would this board have with it at that point? Would there be a
public hearing?
Currently, the only involvement now as it's written would be is if it were objected to by someone in the vicinity that is affected by the line of sight.
But there wouldn't be a public hearing on it?
Unless they objected to it, yes, it would be.
By right.
All right. What if it was all applications were conditional use, they had to come to the board?
Certainly a possibility.
that would limit the amount of them that would give everyone a say. Because if not, they're going to be popping up everywhere. Some people may not complain even though they don't want it, especially if you're across the creek because they don't want to offend the neighbor. And you got every dock in the world populated with these. I don't know. I'm just thinking. A lot of things to think about what could happen in the future, not just what could happen today.
Mr. Gregory.
Well, if you want mine, but the Planning Commission's recommended approval. There's a process that if there's an objection, then it can it would trigger the conditional use permit, which would require a public hearing. So you do have some protection. Just because it allows for 400 feet maximum doesn't mean that everybody who builds one is going to do the maximum. I would caution, because if you make this a conditional use permit for just automatically for for all of them, then you're looking probably at a lot public hearing, and it's an onerous process to go through. But it's subject to the board's pleasure. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and if we approve the ordinance and no one objects, no adjacent landowners object, I don't know why we should hear it anyway.
Why we should hear it or should?
I don't think we should. It should come before us if we change this ordinance into the language that's in here now, and no adjacent property owners had any complaints, or people across the creek had any complaints, then I don't think we should hear it at that point. That's just my opinion.
It's by right the way it's written.
It's by right that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Planning Commission has only sent a recommendation. We do not have to take it, or we can change it, or do whatever we want with it. One thing you need to remember right there, just because the Planning Commission recommended doesn't mean it.
And we don't have to take action on it tonight either.
You do not have to take action on it. But you want to make sure that whatever you do, you are doing the correct thing.
Well, with that being said, it was a question earlier in regards to DMRC's guidelines versus what this said. I don't know if that information was communicated back to us the way I understand it well enough. But we need to, if they have a say on this, then we need to make sure that we're within their guidelines. And I think it was a question that you asked of the VMRC, Mr. Fisher.
Well, this is going to be a structure over a pier, per se, Mr. Morrison?
Yes, sir. This will be a structure.
Here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I remember 25 years ago that Mr. Overson came in here and wanted to put a structure over top of his pier because he had people coming in for a ferry boat. He wanted them to go on that pier and not get wet going to it and the board approved it. Ferry boat never came, but the structure's still there. So if somebody had a boathouse and they got approved for a boathouse, they could turn around and put an application for a structure over the pier as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and
as written.
Basically, what is the reason for the structure over a pier? What is the basic for this?
Would have to be shading purposes.
Shading purposes, so you can stand on your pier and not be in the sun. Is that yes, sir?
Well, how about screening? They're going to screen it in?
It has to be open.
You know they're going to get screened in.
No, it's the way it's written is specific to open side.
They will get screened in.
That would be an enforceable action.
All right. What would you do if it was screened in?
It would have to be removed.
All right.
Should be removed under penalty of law. That would stop a lot of it.
Yeah.
If they violated the conditional use I see the screening and I see siding and I see a whole lot of things go up on the thing. We've had piers in Northumberland County for 200 years and they hadn't had roofs over them yet. I'm having a hard time understanding the exact need for it. I mean, we're tight on boathouse, but like you said, Lancaster County don't allow any way, shape, or form. We do allow boathouses with 8 sides, certain sizes. And I think, isn't that also under, that doesn't come before the board if there's no objection in a certain size, certain limitations?
Yes, sir.
You can actually build a boathouse without even coming to the board. Yeah. In certain circumstances.
I'll tell you what, let's hold this off just a little bit.
Good idea.
Let's get this public hearing opened up. We can come back to our discussion here after we hear what the public has to say. So I'm going to open the public hearing. The first person I have on the sign-up sheet is Hal Bell.
Thank you very much, members of the board, for having the opportunity to come and talk to you tonight. First of all, I was the individual that has been attending the Planning Commission meetings just to hear how this proceeded and progressed. And I'll tell you, I'd like to say a few thank yous because there's been a lot of work. My observation, what I saw going on in the Planning Commission, Mr. Philip Morrison from zoning, had support from several subject matter experts. Like Craig Halubensky, he was there to answer questions. Members of the Planning Commission, all the work that they put in, you see it's only a few words, but there's a lot of work behind each one of those words. They've changed quite a bit and evolved over time. I'll say that I've been impressed with all of the deep thought that went into this and the breadth of all of the analysis that certainly Phil put into it. And all the hard work in getting the wording in place, like you see, it's pretty simple now, pretty easy to understand. I'm excited about seeing a change to the Northumberland ordinance to be able to do something like a covered portion of a pier. I'm happy to explain to you what it would mean to me, but I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would probably equally be able to come back and say why they may or may not want it as well. I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to speak, for the opportunity to come here and say that I'm in support of this. I hope that the board is able to go through the process and approve it over time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Next person I have is David Matters.
Matera.
I'm sorry.
Matera.
All right. And I'm just thinking that was an S on the end.
Oh, my bad. That's a lousy A. Please. I'm going to read this and you're going to get a copy so you get to follow along. All right. In a minute when you all have a copy.
Let's go.
And away we go. Good evening. My name is David Matera. I live at 1434 Cedar Point Road in Heathsville on the north side of the Great Wacomico River. My wife and I moved here 5 years ago to enjoy the peace, serenity, and beauty of the river. From my home, I can see over 20 individual docks. I have a question regarding shelter roofs on private docks. Who is going to be responsible to act as the fashion police? What's going to happen when folks decide that they want their dock roof to be pink or yellow or orange? Or maybe they want all three of those colors fashioned as stripes or polka dots. Then what? Like I said, we moved here for the beauty of the river. A bunch of ugly roofs will greatly distract from that beauty. Many docks obstruct a neighbor's view of the water. In some cases, an individual's dock may be more visible from a neighbor's home than from the individual's home who actually owns the dock. There is a website called Waterfront Property Law, written by attorney Jim Wang. In one of his articles, he answers the question, what are common dock cases, or why would you need a lawyer? He answers, people frequently contact us for help solving problems associated with docks and piers. One common problem is the waterfront property owner who is trying to protect his or her investment in that property as against a neighbor who intends to build a pier that will spoil the client's view of the water. So I asked you, if this lawyer says lots of cases involve docks, which as we know are only a few feet above the water, what do you think will happen in Northumberland County when neighbors are faced with docks that have roofs that rise 20 feet into the air? Lawsuits are going to skyrocket. When my wife and I experienced our first king tide here on the river, we were stunned. Our dock, as well as most of the docks on the river that we could see, went underwater. And then we watched in horror. A property of buoyancy that we all know, wood floats. All the dock planks of which the screws or nails responsible for holding them down that had rusted through floated away, including a couple from our very own dock. My wife and I hopped into our canoe and started chasing them down. A canoe was a necessity. Most of the planks floated to the shore or into some weeds, unreachable with a motorboat. We matched planks by color with the assumed dock owner and tossed them onto the land of their rightful owner. We did this for a couple of hours a day over the course of several days. No one helped us. A 2x6 that is 5 or 6 feet long can do thousands of dollars of damage to a boat. Old docks shed pieces of wood. Old docks with roofs will shed even more wood. But what about new docks? They should be okay, right? Wrong. My wife and I moved here from the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. While living there, we had the pleasure of living through 2 hurricanes. And coincidentally, one of my jobs while living there was working for a roofing company. There's a physical property of a roof in a high wind. It acts like an airplane wing, producing lift. During Hurricane Maria, which hit St. Croix really hard, there were parts of the island in which there wasn't an intact roof in an entire neighborhood. When Northumberland gets hit head on by even a moderate hurricane, one of 2 things will happen. Either all of those pretty roofs will get ripped off and deposited in someone's yard or in the middle of the river, or perish the thought. If a dock owner thinks he's going to outsmart Mother Nature and secure his roof down to his dock really well, he will discover that the uplift force needed to pull a piling out of the mud is insufficient to hold his combined dock and roof down against the power of a hurricane. And the entire shattered remains will likewise be deposited in someone's yard or in the middle of the river. The last point I want to make is rather technical. A lot of years ago, I tutored high school students in the science of physics. There is a physical property of light called refraction. It's what causes light waves to bend by a prism. Refraction also works for sound waves, and it can produce a very startling effect when you live on the water. I printed this off the internet. I'll give you a copy when I'm done, but you all have one now, and I'll just read part of it for now. Refraction of sound waves. Why you can hear your neighbors across the lake better at night. Suppose you rent a cabin on a lake, which is not too wide, say about a half a mile across. During the day, you can see the other cabin goers across the lake enjoying the afternoon sun, but you cannot hear them. As nighttime falls, you can still see those across the lake, but now you can hear them as if they are standing right next to you. This phenomena is due to the refraction of sound waves, and temperature plays a key role. During the night, our atmosphere ends up producing a temperature inversion. This means temperature increases with height. Therefore, when you shout across the lake, sound waves higher up are now traveling faster than those near the surface. The faster speeds aloft cause the sound to bend downwards, making it easy to hear what others are saying. At night, my wife and I sit on our screen porch and listen to conversations that people are having from the land across the river, which is almost half a mile away. When Reedville has their 4th of July fireworks, I can't see them, but I can certainly hear them. And Reedville is almost straight down the river at a distance of a little over 7 miles away. If there were a bunch of sheltered docks with bunches of people enjoying themselves and talking loudly in each of them, the din would be unbearable. So remember, sheltered docks are not only a visible nuisance, they are also an audible nuisance. And as an aside, you asked what the MRC's opinion is. Jeff Madden is the person who's kind of responsible for this area. I've had a conversation with him. He has given me his opinion. It's private. I don't want to share it, but he definitely has an opinion and you should get it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next person is Athena Kinakis. I know I messed that all the way up. No one here. John Runkle, he's gone. All right. Anyone else like to speak on this issue? All right. Would anyone that's online tonight like to speak on this issue? Anyone that's online tonight like to speak on this issue? All right. Close the public hearing. Now the matters before the board. Mr. Fisher, if you want to pick up your conversation.
I'd like to table it.
I agree.
I'd like to get some direct input from VMRC. I'd like to talk to some people in the neighborhood.
Well, I'll tell you all something. You grant this, you're going to destroy every creek around here. It will be an eyesore like I don't know what.
That's where it's going to be the most problem, is up in these creeks. Like I said, out in the river where it's a mile across or something, that's fine. But a lot of these navigable creeks with docks and houses on both sides, some of them are less than 200 feet wide.
And 400 square feet is just too much area.
And they're not straight. They wind and twist and round, and it's no problem for somebody half a mile up the creek to be obstructed by something like this. But I don't know, we'll talk about it. I'd like to make a motion that we table this.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's all our public hearings tonight. Now we can go back to County Administrator's report.
Yes, sir. For the month of November, we had 7 new structures. Total construction cost for the month, $6.4 million. Total construction cost year to date, $60.1 million, which is approximately $1.9 million below this time last year. Required to read into the minutes the abstract of votes for the November 4th, 2025 election.
Wait a minute, I'll get my pen down.
For Governor Abigail Spanberger, 2,685 votes. Winsome Earl Sears, 4,132 votes. For Lieutenant Governor Ghazala Hashmi, 2,537 votes. John Reed II, 4,244 votes. Attorney General Jay Jones, 2,413 votes. Jason Miaris, 4,354 votes. House of Delegates, 67th District, Mario Haggerty, 2,294 votes. Hillary Pugh Kent, 4,396. And Richard Kinski, 117. Board of Supervisors, District 2, Richard Haney, 490. Keith Harris, 751. Board of Supervisors, District 3, James Long, 724. There were a total of 128 write-ins, and Dion Maith had 86 of those votes. Members, School Board District 2, Cheryl Brown Davis, 993 votes. School Board District 3, Carolyn Crockett, 816 votes. Town Council, Town of Kilmarnock, Matthew Cunningham, 23 votes. And for the referendum election of school board, shall the method of selecting the school board be changed from direct election by voters to appoint to appointment by the governing body. Total yes votes, 2,402. Total no votes, 4,267. Next item we have as a supplemental appropriation, funds to cover equipment from the closing of the Explorer Post account going to 3102-5409 in the amount of $3,416.77.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Next item we have are the EMS revenue to expenditures going to 56-3506-5958. Total amount is $2,608.83.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item we have is the UHY invoice for the July 25 services to 10-1101-3002. Total amount is $19,703.75.
This will finish UHY out.
That's correct.
Yeah. And this was when the county took the contract over.
That's what July 1 was when we took control of the contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Next item we have, we've been discussing the leave for the emergency services 24-hour shift crew. You have that language in your packet that we were asked to place this on the board agenda for tonight.
All right, board members.
I'd like to make a motion and we move forward with that.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not,
the only thing I'd like to add to that, Mr. Haney, is I just think this will show the EMS staff that we are trying to make improvements and help him earn a little more leave. And we also, we heard tonight, Sheriff's Office is facing some issues. So we got a lot to work on, and this is a step in the right direction.
yeah, it is a step in the right direction. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? All right.
Next item we have, and I may call on Mr. Gregory, but it's an ordinance to repeal and replace Article 2, the vicious dogs of Chapter 34 of Northumberland County Code. No, this has been of discussion the last several meetings, and Mr. Gregory has been working on drafting of the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Tadlock. With board's permission, the ordinance before you is as clean as possible. It's a basic repeal and replace. You're repealing the old outdated ordinance and replacing it with an entirely new ordinance, which is compliant with applicable state code provisions to update the code, your local code to be consistent with state code. We conferred with Mr. Tadlock. You all provided your guidance, also conferred with the Commonwealth's attorney, Jane Wrightson, and her staff. And we believe this is a positive move for the county. Certainly recommend that you all direct staff to advertise a public notice and conduct a public hearing, and depending on your pleasure at that time, make a decision on whether to approve it or not. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. One important item is the old ordinance included a lot of terminology and categorization of particularly dangerous dogs or vicious dogs or even threatening dogs that are no longer included in the state code. Threatening dogs, for instance, is not defined under state code. So if action were taken by the law enforcement or the Commonwealth's attorney under that local code provision, that would be subject to challenge as an ultra vires act by the local authorities, as not authorized by state code. So we eliminated that, and we harmonized the code to better reflect state code provisions. So that's one important comment to make.
Oh, man.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion that we move forward and prepare this for public hearing.
I second.
All right, got a motion second. Any other discussion on that?
We worked together on this for some time and been trying to get something done for several months. A lot of complaints from citizens, and I know the animal control officer has been out. I'm glad to hear that he's back on the job and both feet on the ground and running, I hope. And I think this will be a good for the county and good for the citizens all over.
All right. Comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, due to advertising and around the holidays and the way that the board meeting falls in January, we may have to advertise that for the February meeting, if that's okay with the board, just so that we can get the advertisement correct.
Sure.
All right. Any other comments? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? All right.
Thank you.
The last item I have is we are continuing to move forward with the Little Wacomico dredging project. We actually had a dredging project update meeting this morning with VIMS, the Northern Neck Plan District Commission, the consultant, and of course the county. We reviewed the draft JPA, the joint permit application this morning, and that is being finalized, and the county does plan to send that out next week or submit that. There's also a Section 408 form, which is an Army Corps form that needs to be submitted. The county also plans to submit that at the same time that we submit the JPA. The easements are still currently being finalized. We are working with Mr. Gregory on that, and we're also working with Mr. Bass down in that community to try and help, once we finalize those, get those items distributed to those individual property owners where the dredge material is to be placed. We are looking at, instead of going to the north side of the channel this time, we are looking at placing the dredge material to the south shore to help build that structure up. Yes, sir.
Placement.
One thing that I do need from the board tonight is I request that the board authorize me as county administrator to sign and submit the JPA and the Section 408 Army Corps form related to the dredging of the Little Wacomico.
All right, what does the board feel about that?
I make a motion that we do it.
Yeah, second.
Got a motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Just to be clear, Mr. Tadlock, so the not having the easement or the spoils will not delay in the joint permit application process. Is that correct?
That is my understanding. We can go ahead and submit that. There are some notifications that VMRC likes to see within that, and that's one part that we are working on. But as far as the actual signature of the easement, VMRC should not need that. They will probably want to have something as far as where the spools or the dredge material is to be located, some sort of communication with those property owners.
You know, 25 years ago when that river was dredged out, VIMS was deadly against any spool being sent to the south. Deadly against it. If they're in agreement with this, of course, that's okay by me. I don't have little to say about it, but they were 25 years ago, they were definitely against anything going south. But times change, so
I was on a Zoom call with them a while back. They're pretty adamant that any shoaling is being caused from sand that's coming from the north side now.
Now, okay. Geographical change. Well, and thank God there's no tiger beetles involved.
Mr. Gregory, do you have can you give an update on the easement?
We have the draft easements, but there's some updated language that the Army Corps of Engineers recommends we include in that. So we need to make those changes and then make sure there's like 10 or 12 different easements that we need from various properties. So we just need to make sure that they are the language is right for each one of those easements. So it's just a lot of documentation.
Thank you.
Have they publicized the amount of material they expect to dredge?
They do, and I can get that information to the board.
I'd like to relate that to what they took out last time.
Yes, sir. We can certainly get that to the board. Actually, once the final JPA, there's some numbers that they were going to fix and modify within the JPA. So once I have that, I can certainly provide that to the board.
And the section of jetty that was gone right at the south, on the south jetty at the water line, is that going to be taken in hand? Something done with that by?
That's a completely, or would be a completely different project. This is strictly looking at the dredging of the channel. So one of the things in some of the discussions would be with the Army Corps, since it's a federal channel, would be the maintenance of the actual jetty and what could be done with that.
And should be, because that channel is under the federal maintenance program, which we don't have many of them in Northumberland County. I think we got 2, but if they uphold by that, then it should be something done with it, because that's going to wash right through again.
No, I just want to make that clear. There are 2.
I'm surprised they didn't put that in there before they allowed the dredging.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
We have. All right. Now let's see, we have approval of the check register. Well, I'm sorry. Any committee reports? All right, don't have any approval of check register?
Move to approve.
All right, got a motion to have second?
Second.
Motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, board comments. Mr. Williams, start with you, unless you want to start on over end.
I'm good. The appeals process with the assessor, how confident are we that the 2-week window that they have initially allowed the public is great enough for everyone's concerns to be heard?
That is something that I originally talked to the assessor the first day. And the first day wasn't, they were busy, but not as busy as these follow-up days. He had indicated that if there was additional time that's needed, that they would stay that additional period of time.
Okay, good. That's all.
Mr. Long?
No, it's kind of like we had complaints about a group putting RVs. I mean, you had a complaint. Someone came to you to address that.
Yes, sir. To my knowledge, Mr. Philip Marston has addressed the immediate concern with that. But I think that's something that we're keeping an eye on, that ongoing.
Yes, because they don't have a right to do it. Right. I mean, it's not something that can be built in that area. So we really need to keep an eye on that, because the person or the small group have said that, well, we can do anything we want to. No, they can't. They can't do it. They can't do anything they want to. I remember, and you might have been on the board this time, about 10, 15 years ago, maybe. This guy built a structure without getting a permit from the county. But he learned, because he got a fine, and he had to tear it down and build it and remove it. He learned a lesson. I mean, people can't do what they want to. They got to follow the rules like everybody else. So we really need to keep check on those RVs. And whatever we have to do, we need to do it. No, they can't do what they want to. They got to follow the rules like everybody else.
Well, you see, RV, you're not supposed to live into 12 months of the year.
Huh?
RV, you're not supposed to live into 12 months of the year.
I know it.
And there are a lot of places down 200, 360, other places they live into 12 months a year.
See, we need to tighten up on that. I mean,
And I understand that's all they have for a home too. I understand that. Sometimes you have to make some considerations.
I know, but if we can't start that, we got to find ways to help people in other ways. I help I'm sure you do help quite a few people to get rental homes, and they're not RVs.
Yeah. Anything else, Mr. Crum?
Yeah. Mr. Taylor, do you know of any counties who build buildings for elderly people? I mean, isn't it a structure leading in Langston County? I don't know if it's a large building on the right side. I didn't know if Langston County had that for elderly people or what. Do you know anything about it?
No, sorry, I don't.
It's all right.
I just want to thank everyone that participated in the Christmas tree lighting. It was a nice event, and thank you, Morgan.
Always
together. As usual, you've done a fantastic job.
I didn't make it. You had the high school choir? Who was that?
Middle school and elementary.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yep. A little cold, but we all got this.
As long as the wind not blowing, it's all right.
That's all I got, Mr. Hank.
All right, Mr. Fisher.
I'd like to see on the agenda for next month that we put on there a discussion and some ironing out some of the definitions on this solid waste. Right now in our waste disposal, we won't dwell on this too much tonight. We'll bring it up later. But what I'm talking about is in our waste disposal areas, it's for the residents of Northumberland County for their household waste to go into these dumpsters. It states right in our regulation that businesses have a right to put their waste there also. That means if I have a roofing company and I'm taking off an old roof, according to the code, if I read it correctly, Mr. Tedlock, you can correct me. By code, I should be allowed to dump that old roof in some type of waste system. We've dwelled on the fact that it was in the past for residents and household waste, but that's not what the code says. And we need to sit down and talk about this and get it straightened out. We talked one time, but maybe putting one or two dumpsters centrally located in the county where citizens could bring that type of waste in on a permit basis or whatever. But right now, if I want to choose, if I'm a contractor and I want to dump my roof that I've just taken off somebody's house in a dumpster, by code, I should be allowed to do it. Just like to see it on the agenda. And discuss that and several other matters with waste. Citizens have a right to know what's really going on, and we need to provide for them. We don't, the way we were talking and the way we were led to believe now, we could only put household waste in there, correct? Am I correct? Okay. But that's not so. So we need to talk about it. That's all I have.
All taxpayers, all citizens are taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start denying taxpayers something, you can open up a big can of worms that way.
And the code actually goes a little farther. It says homeowners and guests. And guests.
Yeah. And guests.
This
needs to be very, very particular about how you do it.
Might need to go to the planning commission first. I don't know, but we need some discussion on it.
Anything else, Mr. Fisher?
That's all I have.
Well, I have one other thing. Ms. Taylor, what do you know the days that solid waste sites would be closed?
It would be Christmas. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. In the past, we have closed the solid waste sites early on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I think we've done a couple hours early if the board wishes to do that. I think we've closed them at like 5.
It's a good idea, close so they can get home to their families.
What was it, 5:30? 5:30.
5:30
on Christmas Eve. Yes, sir.
Christmas Eve.
And you close Christmas Day.
Close Christmas Eve.
Reopen the day after it normal.
They reopened back at the 26th.
I think it'd be a good idea if we follow the same thing.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Christmas Eve
It
is
is
5:30, and on Christmas Day, not open at all.
Closed on Christmas Day.
It's 5 o'clock. Apologize.
What's that?
We do close at 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve, or have closed at 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
Okay. And, at one time, we had people dumping outside the gate on those days. Has that decreased?
I think they still occasionally have that, depending on the timing of it. So,
yeah, that's not going to change. It's not. Well, I got one thing I want to discuss with y'all. I've been hearing a lot of comments. This is the time to do something with it since we had this reassessment. And I know it's going to be a sore subject for a lot of people. Well, for a smaller amount of people than it is for a large amount. And this is land use. Land use is set aside here for large landowners and farmers and all, so they could, and it was done 30 years ago. Has not been revisited since then. It's time that you start looking back into it, because I know how much you pay an acre, because I have 25 acres that was an inheritance that I got that was in land use. You're paying $700 and some an acre. That's what you're paying taxes on. The land is probably valued at $8,000 to $10,000 an acre. That's not very fair when you are a taxpayer out here with 2 or 3 acres, 4 or 5 acres, and you're paying on property values that are $8,000, $10,000, $12,000. Then you look at your neighbor that's right next door, and they're paying on $700 an acre. It's not fair. A lot of people have gotten aware of this, and they want something done. They want it looked at. Doesn't have to be complete, but it needs some revision. And I do expect this board to do something with it. So it needs to be sent back to the planning commission, or what has to be done. I know the commissioner of revenue's got to get involved.
Isn't that based on SLEAC value?
Yeah, there's some other things related
to that. A lot of things based on.
Yeah, I would certainly talk more to the commissioner of revenue.
Yeah.
And get that input from him as well.
Yeah. But you got to do something with it, and it needs to be revised every so often. I'm not saying do away with it, but I think it needs to be revised. Even if it was up, if you doubled the price. And also look at the amount of tax dollars it brings in. It would have lowered that 74 cent that we had to put on the tax rate down quite a bit. Would have saved every taxpayer a few dollars, especially the ones that are strapped paying. People that have a large income coming in, or they can afford to pay it, they don't mind paying a little bit extra. I've talked to a lot of them. They said, I'm not worried, but if I got to pay another $500, it doesn't bother me that much. But the average person has to pay $500. It's too much.
Right.
But it's something that needs to be looked at, and y'all need to look at it and make some revisions into it.
I'd just like to know how many acres are in that.
A lot of acres.
I don't know, what is a lot?
A lot of acres.
Anybody know?
It's farmland, it's woodland. Large property owners have the woodland, and it's not just a few thousands, it's millions of acres.
Well, that's what I'd like to start
And
off.
tax dollars is what? $1 million to $2 million that you're not receiving?
Maybe we can have the Commissioner of Revenue here next month and give us a rundown on that.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a good rundown on to get it adjusted.
Get some information.
Right. And that would make a big difference for everybody. Plus, it would bring in a little more tax dollars and keep that rate down a little bit for everybody else. Everybody needs to pay their fair share. All right, any other items?
I'd like to say one thing before we close. And Richard, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you for all your advice. I thank you for your leadership. And don't think I'm going to stop calling because I'm not.
Well, I don't care who calls me. You're welcome to call. I'll give you all the advice I had on history. And it's been a lot of history. I don't mind telling you one bit. But it has been a pleasure serving, and I'm going to miss it. But, y'all been good to work with. I know we don't always see eye to eye, but we do leave out of here friends. Right. It doesn't change anything. Now, only one person, that's Mr. Long. He always wants to make me run those laps. He did enough of that when I was in school.
Right. But it's been a pleasure working, and you always answer the phone.
Always got to answer your phone. You need to do that.
I will call 2 or 3 times to make sure you answer.
Yep. Right. You need to do that. And just remember, we don't serve here for our own benefit.
That's right.
We serve at the pleasure of the citizens or the taxpayers of the county.
That's it.
That's why we're here. If we are looking at to benefit ourselves, we need to walk back out of that door and never come back.
Yeah.
Always remember that, gentlemen. So I have faith in y'all. So don't let me down. Because you will hear from me.
Thank you, Richard.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just real quick, back on the holiday closure for the trash site.
You need a motion?
I need a motion on that too.
All right, gentlemen, motion on the holiday closure. Vote. Motion to close at 5 p.m. on the Christmas Eve, closed on some Christmas Day.
That's right.
5 a.m. be a good one.
Right. Man,
They'd like that.
and we will get a lot of complaints.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you. I'll notify.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
We got closed session.
Closed session. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm trying to go home. I want to get something to eat.
Are we at 5 minutes before we go into closed session?
Huh?
Are we have 5 minutes before we go to close?
Yeah, we can have 5 minutes. We can take 10 minutes if you want.
I'm good with 5.
All right.
Whatever you want.
We will take a max of a 10-minute break.
The youngest I called.
For closed meeting was Ted Lockwood.
Yes, sir. I need a motion that the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors convene and close meeting pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.2, 3711A1, for the discussion and consideration of personnel matters. Invited to attend the closed meeting as necessary are the county administrator and county attorney as they are deemed necessary, and their presence will reasonably aid the board in its consideration of the topics to be discussed pursuant to Virginia FOIA Section 2.2, 3712F.
All right, I have a motion.
Motion.
Second. Motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, we're now in closed meeting. I'll turn your mics off, please.
Motion that the Northumberland Board of Supervisors return to public meeting and certify by roll call vote that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting.
Motion made.
Got a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, Jim? All those in favor, see roll call vote. Mr. Williams? Aye. Mr. Long? Aye. Mr. Brand?
Aye.
Fisher? Aye. Haney votes aye. We're back in open meeting now, gentlemen. We need a motion.
All right. The first one is I need a motion to approve the 9.3% salary increase for employee ID number 10520 for receiving their master deputy certification in circuit court effective January 1st, 2025.
Motion to approve.
2026. Sorry.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against?
All right. Next item would be the supplemental appropriation for that increase. Total supplemental appropriation is $4,868.41.
Motion made.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. What else you need, Mr. Tadlock? Anything?
All right. The only other item is we can go ahead and adjourn, but I just, for informational purposes, we are meeting as a group. We're not conducting official business December 18th at 5:30 p.m.
Well, it'd been early, if we can meet early, man. You know, it's a lot of deal down there.
All right, motion to adjourn, gentlemen.
Down in that one Sunday, man, them guys
Second.
jumping over the corn.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.